Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
With the first pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Trevor Lawrence, quarterback, Clemson.
And so the inevitable has finally become reality.
And what a moment it was here in Jacksonville for this city, for this franchise, for you, the Jags fans. Heck, it was a big moment for me. I enjoyed it. Had nothing to do with me, but I thought it was very cool. And what a moment for Trevor Lawrence, his family, all the people that have touched him over the years, from Cartersville, Georgia to Clemson, South Carolina. There it is, Trevor Lawrence, the number one overall pick in the 2021 draft, and a wild 15, 18 hours now since being named the number one pick, 8:23-ish, I think it was last night. Party it up a little bit. Then you find out that your teammate, Travis Etienne, is coming to Jacksonville with you, pick number 25. He'll be part of that backfield, and you can do some fun things on offense with Etienne. And then, on top of that, get a good night's sleep, or probably not a good night's sleep. Fly here to Jacksonville, greeted by some third graders from Long Branch Elementary. Got to shake hands and, or at least fist bump, take some pictures with those kids and do some interviews. Just met the media moments ago. You heard it right here on ESPN 690 and on WOKV. Some of that news conference, we'll play some of it back. My conversation as well coming up with Trevor Lawrence. And, hey, first impressions are a good one for the 6'6" quarterback from Cartersville, Georgia, and Clemson University. The Jaguars have their man. They're fired up about it. Everybody in town continues to be fired up about it. And now we look forward to tonight as well, because the Jaguars are essentially on the clock for the second consecutive day. They have the first pick, round number 2 tonight, 3 tonight as well. Jags will have 3 selections. What will the Jags do at number 33 is something we certainly will discuss. Now, let me introduce you to my co-host, also part-time producer on Twitter.
Yeah, man.
Very well done.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, first of all, let me start by saying there's nothing more humbling than walking in the stadium and not being on the media list and them having to vet you through a multiple process of saying, okay, what are you doing here, and why should you earn the credential?
So you were on last list yesterday, but not today?
I was on the list yesterday, but not on the list today. So we had to go through a little bit of a process, but we're here now, and we're all good.
Yeah, maybe that was a one-day list. Don't take offense to that. That might have been just that we didn't plan to do the show potentially here.
I don't care. I'm here now, so
less on them, more on probably us.
No, it's all good.
Just put it on Kuz. He was getting married, didn't put credentials.
Come on, Kuz, you're better than that, man.
Not that it's his job, but I will add it to the list.
You told me to blame him. I'm blaming somebody.
Yeah, absolutely. You always blame somebody. Usually blame somebody who's not here, because then they can't defend themselves.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, what was it like, man? What was the whole night like from the couch? And was it everything you thought it would be?
Yeah.
And here we are. Now it's time to move on from the hype and the anticipation, and now flip this around to what else they'll do. There's some anticipation tonight and tomorrow, of course. But now we start to get down to, okay, how's this going to work? How quick can it turn? What are they going to do with him? What kind of offense are they going to run? How will Etienne help? But first, how was the draft night?
Draft night was fun. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence. I'll tell you what, man. You know, having the first pick of the draft, you really see behind the scenes of how long it takes to get to that point, right? Because usually the Jaguars are picking maybe 3rd or 4th or 9th, or whatever the case may be. But last night, man, I was just like, can we get this thing started? You know, I mean, Roger Goodell had, like, the former Cleveland Brown alumni there. They were giving their speeches and giving their chants. And meanwhile, I'm just like, let's get this show on the road. Finally, Trevor Lawrence gets selected. And obviously, you know, as excited as one could be, knowing he's going to come here for, the past half year now, it seems like. And then with pick 25, that's where things got interesting, obviously, with Travis Etienne. Definitely a guy I didn't see coming.
Yeah.
I think a lot of experts, a lot of fans didn't perceive that pick to be at number 25. But, well, like I said, a very interesting pick nonetheless.
Yeah, just to go back to the moment, I think that was interesting because you in your living room or at whatever draft party you might have been at, there's a good chunk of people up in Cleveland, by the way, at the NFL draft, and obviously there were 7,000 plus here, and we were live on TV, and we had planned, right, some shows and how long will it take to get that pick? When will that pick? Well, I think there was a little bit misinterpretation of that, and I think I was right on this from the initial stage, and then we kind of altered it a few times, but basically Jags were kind of told around 8:10. I don't think it was crystal clear that 8:10 was when the commission was basically going to come out and put the Jags on the clock. I think many people assumed that's when the pick would be made because draft starts at 8:10, makes some sense. Well, that wasn't the case. I mean, that was when Goodell came out, introduced the draft, Jags go on the clock, or he says his opening, remarks, and then they go on the clock. So really, I think it was about 8:23 when the Jaguars officially got announced, at least here on the big board at TIAA Bank Field. I mean, nonetheless, it didn't matter, but I think to your point, it was a little more of a waiting game than any of us anticipated. And we all had our clocks wrapped around like 8:10, 8:12, somewhere in there, and it ended up being about 10 minutes later. But it was really cool in here. We're live on TV right up there in the terrace suites, and you could feel it. 7,000 felt bigger than 7,000. Almost the anticipation of them announcing the pick was better than the revelation that the pick was made. You could just feel the energy, the buzz, and I kind of felt that probably was the case all, again, in living rooms and parties and everywhere, saying, all right, this is it, finally, time to make it official. And some places I saw reaction. We had cameras all over the place, and it was just kind of like a low-key reaction because we have known it for so long. I mean, this was a foregone conclusion. But then when he addressed the crowd up on during the media session, and he kind of addressed the crowd here at TIAA Bank Field and said, some nice things about Duval and already getting to know him a little bit because of the wedding registry and can't wait to get there. When he was done with that comment, this place really erupted. So the whole thing was well done by the Jags, pretty cool, and hopefully you never have to do it again. I mean, never's not a long time, but at least not in the near future. But it was a special night to be a part of. And then you just hit it. I think it is a surprise, Travis Etienne. I don't think it's a bad pick. I just think it's a surprise because I think a lot of people said, okay, if Etienne is even in play, I think it would come at 33 or 45. I don't think anybody ever really thought at 25. Now, there were a lot of mock drafts, a lot of experts, a lot of analysts that said a team might go get Travis Etienne at 22 or 28 or wherever it might be. The Jags obviously didn't think he would slide to 33. And they actually do get fortunate because some of the other names that we're familiar with, defensive players like Trevon Merrick or Christian Barmore, if they want to go that route at defensive tackle and safety, still on the board at number 33. So whether you like the pick or not, the Jaguars are likely going to end up with the player that they coveted, and you might have even coveted, by taking Etienne before that pick.
See, here's the counter argument with that, though. First of all, if you're a Jaguars fan, I think you're excited for Etienne, right? Because you followed him in college. He's a home run threat. He's a nice compliment to James Robinson. Like, there's a lot of things to like about Travis Etienne. At the same time, though, the football player in me and just, I guess, the personnel guy in me wants to go, okay, I get it. He's the home run threat. He's explosive. He's dynamic. Can be a great third down back, all that stuff. But at the same time, we're talking about a team last year who in a lot of categories was dead last in defense. And you have a situation where you had the choice to get the top safety or the top interior defensive line. Or if you take one of those guys, and if it was me, it probably would have been Merrick. And then all of a sudden you're sitting here today saying, we can get the top interior defensive line as well. So now we can have the top safety and the top interior defensive line. And once again, I understand these aren't deep draft classes at those positions. But I think everybody would say they're probably the best at their position. So it's very rare we can get two guys on defense that are rated at the top of their position in each rank. So that's, to me, why it's a little bit surprising. And then obviously to what James Robinson, yes, James Robinson is a lot of things at the running back position. Is he a home run hitter? Probably not. But I think he's a damn good running back, all right? And I think you have to give him respect as well. And I think that when we look around the league, like, I get it. We talk about the league shifting to these high-powered offenses and these, explosive running backs, all that stuff. Well, did Kansas City have that? I mean, Clyde Edwards-Helaire wasn't really around that much because he was hurt. Did Buffalo have that? Does Tennessee have that? They have Derrick Henry, but is he really explosive? I don't know. Did Tampa Bay have that? Because they had Leonard Fournette last time I checked, dominating in Green Bay. So I understand that it's exciting. He's an explosive guy. But it's also a luxury pick, in my opinion, and I would like to see him go maybe on the defensive side of the ball a little more.
Yeah, and listen, here's why I like Etienne, okay? And by the way, they're very good points. Barmore and Merrick, if you could end it up with both, very good points, no doubt. But let me get you inside what I think the mind of Urban Meyer a little bit. This is just my interpretation.
Sure.
And also living some lessons from the past, being around here and watching it not work out. So I got a couple examples. Urban Meyer comes in here, and what does he say right away? Really, he said, speed. We want to be fast. We want to play fast. We need more speed. We have some speed. We need more speed. Well, Etienne delivers on that. He also just said recently, last couple of weeks, after watching a lot of film, they were lacking the big play. Well, this guy's a big play machine, at least at the collegiate level. 70 touchdowns in his collegiate career. Sure. And so I think they look at something like that and say, hey, we might be able to design some things. Kadarius Toney caught my attention, not because I wanted him here, but if Urban Meyer said I can do things with him, well, I would trust that because he's been very successful in the past with a player like Kadarius Toney who you can move all over the place. Well, Etienne, while not a receiver, is a running back. He can receive, and he can also be put all over the place on your offense. And so that's where I'm at with Urban and Etienne. I kind of feel like he has this vision for him in this offense, along with Darrell Bevel, along with Brian Schottenheimer, how they shape this offense of what they can do. Two more thoughts on it, okay? One being, I don't know what they're going to get at tight end. I said this, I think, yesterday on the show. Yeah. I don't know what they're going to do there. I don't know if they can solve their issues there. We even believe if Pat Freiermuth is the guy at 33 or 45, we've done the study. The impact of the tight end early on is not great. They need to add to the room. No doubt about it. They need to rebuild the room. And we're not going Tim Tebow conversation here, but they need to get more, and they need to be better there. It's a very big void on this football team. But are there other ways to play offensively if you don't have the tight end? And the answer is yes. You can use Etienne maybe in different roles. I'm not saying as a tight end. I'm just saying you add another receiver in the game, you go to different looks, and now you – instead of having the tight end, you use Etienne. If you had the playmaking tight end, you might not have needed Etienne, is my point. And then I'll make one more defense of the Etienne pick. Okay. And this one might be the biggest one. When Gus Bradley got here and Dave Caldwell started, 2013, obviously they ripped up the team. But what was Gus Bradley? He was a defensive coach, right? That's what he was known for. Helped build that Seattle Legion of Boom defense along with Pete Carroll. Sure. Might have been, some give him credit to being the architect of that defense. And now we've seen some of that defense sprinkled not only here in 17 and other years, but around the NFL. Well, Gus made a mistake. The mistake was hiring Jed Fish, first of all, I believe. That didn't work out. Other than that, they tried to build the offense. They went and got Bortles. They went and got receivers. They went and added to the offense. He's a defensive guy. If my brand and my identity as a coach is defense, why not build that up first and then bring along the offense? I think he made a tactical mistake there because he couldn't build the defense until it was almost too late. I think what Urban Meyer's saying is, hey, I'm an offensive guy. This is what I do. I know this best. We have to get better on defense. But I'm going to make sure that this offense is good. We just drafted a franchise quarterback. I'm going to set him up for success, and we're going to go score some damn points. So I think this is the right way to go about it. I don't know what else they'll add on offense. Could be tight end, could even be another playmaker. But I think they want to be as good as possible early under Meyer on the offensive side of the football.
And you're absolutely right. And Urban Meyer did tell us he's looking for speed. Travis Etienne is that guy. But I also heard Urban Meyer say time and time again that he has to learn how to appreciate value. And to me, Travis Etienne in the first round doesn't provide you value. I think if you take Felton in the 4th, 5th, or 6th round, or maybe like a Chuba Hubbard in that kind of range as well, that can provide you a little more value. I think it's hard to justify taking a guy in the first round and saying, all right, he's going to be our third down back, with Carlos Hyde and obviously with James Robinson as well. Maybe he gets 10 touches a game, or not even 10 touches, maybe 10 reps a game. Maybe they ease him into it a little bit. But once again, if we're talking a running back in the first round, you got to ask yourself, how much value do you get with that?
I like what you said, though. I do think that's a really good point, is could you have gotten Merrick 25 or Barmore 25 and Merrick again tonight, which it looks like you could have. Correct. There's no way to play that out. But there's obviously they had a bead on the fact that they liked Etienne, and they thought somebody was going to take him, right?
And obviously,
and somebody
I think
texted me actually and said the Bills, right?
The Bills would have taken him,
yeah. So I don't know that for sure, but I mean, if that's what they thought, and they know that, they get a good feel for that. Teams know kind of who they're after, and so go get him at 25, and they got their guy. And here's one last thing on this part for now. Does he help change their offense? I asked you if they got an offensive player at 25, Kadarius Toney, Rondale Moore, you name it, Elijah Moore. Does that person change the offense? Does it change the dynamic? Does it make you more difficult to defend? Does Etienne do that?
I mean, of course he does, because once again, you're talking about a third down back, and also Urban Meyer kind of alluded to a little bit where they're going to feature possibly some two-back sets. So that's a new wrinkle. Defenses will have to take note of that a little bit. And to me, it echoes what we talked about a little bit, probably like about a week or 2 weeks ago when we discussed, who's calling the shots here. Is it Urban Meyer or Trent Baalke? And we talked about the adjective of value. Does Urban Meyer believe in value? He's saying that he's learning to use value. This is an Urban Meyer draft pick right here.
Yeah, it was.
I think and listen, I don't want to speak for him, but I believe if Baalke had it his way, he would win in a different direction. Because I think Trent Baalke, obviously values value a little more than Urban Meyer does. And once again, am I disappointed in the draft pick? Not really. I just would win in a different direction. It shows you that Urban Meyer wants to win right now. And like you said, he's an offensive-minded guy. I get all of that. But it just screams the fact that, and once again, maybe it comes out hopefully soon, where if you're in that draft room and they're going through who they want to take, I believe Urban Meyer definitely had the final say of this one, taking an offensive guy at the running back position.
That's a great call, by the way. I didn't really think about that yet. There's been so much to digest. But I think you're right. I think that is this was an Urban Meyer play, and that's kind of my point, too. If I'm the Urban Meyer, I'm an offensive guy, we're going to get this offense cooking, all right? And we're going to do that. And he believes in the offensive line. He wants speed. He now has Philip Dorsett. He adds Etienne with more speed and Marvin Jones with more speed, and they already had some guys that could move a little bit. They're pretty dynamic, man. I mean, if you do talk about their offense right now, I don't want to get overly excited. I don't want to go Kansas City Chiefs on you, okay?
Yeah.
But can we draw a comp on paper to another team in the NFL without going over the top and being overly dramatic? You now have James Robinson. He can thump you. You have Etienne. He can beat you. You have a franchise quarterback. You have an offensive line and interior that a lot of teams would sign up for. Question marks at tackle, but the Jags believe in them. You have DJ Chark. He's been to the Pro Bowl. This is going to be a contract year coming up. I like hungry players. You have Laviska Shenault. The guy is a lot of fun if you know what to do with him. You have Marvin Jones. He's a touchdown machine. You have Colin Johnson. You don't know what he's going to do quite yet, but I'm intrigued, especially in the red zone. I'm not telling you that the Chiefs, because they're just not proven enough to even be that, all right?
First of all, you don't have Tyreek Hill and you don't have Travis Kelce.
Yeah, so and you don't have that.
You are definitely not the Chiefs.
I'm just trying to put it in perspective. I'm getting excited about all those names and what I see on paper because I always say this. I think young quarterbacks, when you're picked number 1 overall or in the top 5, walk into bad offenses. Like Peyton Manning walked into a bad offense in Indianapolis until they built that up. Andrew Luck walked into a bad offensive line for years, remember. So I think Trevor's set up really nice, and I kind of equate it maybe to like what the Rams were doing a little bit, like that kind of firepower. Not this past year maybe, but 2 years ago when they have a lot of weapons, but they're not going to score 45 a game,
To me, this screams of the New Orleans Saints back when they had Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara.
Yeah.
That's what this reminds me of, obviously I think Michael Thomas got there eventually as well. Now, listen, they don't have a Michael Thomas quite yet. I think DJ Chark could grow into maybe like a Michael Thomas type.
Yeah, he's not that guy.
But, I think the tight end position, even and maybe I'm wrong here, but I feel like in New Orleans it was lacking a little bit during that time, and they relied on running the ball. You had a guy in Drew Brees who got the job done, but it was the Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara show, and they made it work. Now, eventually what happened? Mark Ingram got hurt a little bit. Alvin Kamara was elevated to the every down back, and let's be honest, he didn't give that position up, and they had to let Mark Ingram go. So that's what it reminds me of possibly more than anything. The difference is, though, is it's great to have that type of offense, but they also had a great defense to have complementary football.
Yeah, true.
And once again, I can't echo this enough. You're talking about a defense right now in Jacksonville that last year was the bottom of the league in a lot of stats in terms of team defense. Now they've addressed some in free agency, obviously, but I think you got to address some more as well.
Can they get a lot better in this night-to-night on defense with what's available? You feel pretty good about what they have the capability of doing. We don't know what they're going to do because, let's be honest, remember Shad Khan's interview? Might see some surprises. This was a little bit of a surprise.
And you kind of hear the rumblings a little bit of possibly a cornerback being taken with pick number 33. We'll see how that goes. It's not my personal first choice. I think if you want Christian Barmore, I think if you want Trevon Meyer, you got to pull the trigger on those guys right now because they can come in right away and make an immediate impact and most likely be a starter from their respective positions.
Every team's going to say, we're going with this guy along. We can't believe he fell to us. Yeah. But if Kwity Paye had dropped a little lower and gone to available at the Jags, do you think they would take a guy like that over Etienne? Would it be just too good a value to pass up. The Titans end up taking, I think, at 22.
Yeah, once again, I think that's a classic Joe Cullen type of guy right there. But if we got Urban Meyer calling the shots, that's all about the offense. I have a hard time believing that Travis Etienne would not have been selected in that spot. The curious point would be, though, is if Pittsburgh did take Travis Etienne and Najee Harris was still on the board, what Urban Meyer would feel about him.
Yeah, I don't think they would have taken Harris.
Still a pretty good third down back as well. I mean, he really added a lot to his receiving game.
Yeah, he did. Hey, we were just getting started, right? What's going to happen tonight? A little more on Trevor Lawrence as well. First impressions of the young man that we got to meet at a one-on-one interview earlier in the day with Trevor Lawrence. You'll hear that on the show. We're live at TIAA Bank Field. Brett Martin, Austin Lane, Coos back in the studio. Marcel right here. What a fun Friday in Jacksonville. The ship is starting to turn right here on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert Forecast on ESPN 690.
Partly sunny and a pretty hot Friday today. We top out near 90 degrees, a widely scattered late day shower or thunderstorm. Join me beginning at 5 p.m. for CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax from the First Alert Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds, where you get the lowest diamond price guaranteed or your money back.
No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com.
I'm Elfrida Boney, founder and CEO of Perfectly Suited Career Consulting. I'm proud to be a Jax Chamber member and to serve on the advisory board of the Jacksonville Women's Business Center. The JWBC is innovating and adapting, embracing the digital transformation to serve more women in Northeast Florida. For example, we are launching the Network of Trust program that will mentor and vet female business owners, preparing them to take the next step as a company. For more information, visit jaxchamberfoundation.org.
Hi, I'm attorney Robert Rubenstein, and this is Rubenstein's Rules for Personal Injury. Rule number 6, only settle when it's the right decision. We try cases all the time, but the truth is, most cases settle. With our lawyers on your side, the insurance company knows if they don't make a fair offer, then we will see them in court. Our experience will assist you in deciding whether to accept an offer or go to trial, and our advice will help you make the right decision. Call Rubenstein Law at 1-800-FL-LEGAL. Offices in Jacksonville and throughout Florida.
I should have my kid tell you about Jumpin' Jack's House of Food. It's Ty's favorite burger in town. Make it one of your favorites as well. Jumpin' Jack's House of Food has 3 locations now, Atlantic Beach, Mandarin, and downtown Jacksonville. Change your life burgers. But they have salads, pizza, and much more on the menu, too. Let Jumpin' Jack's House of Food be your great neighbor. Lunch or dinner with the family, or they will cater parties from 2 to 500 people. Jumpin' Jack's, HOF.com for online ordering. Jumpin' Jack's House of Food, open 7 days a week.
Transmission problems? Call Action Transmission Specialists on Merrill Road, where you get the work done right the first time by the experts. I'm Robin Sidbury, the owner. Our techs can service all makes and models, and we provide a nationwide warranty, so you have the peace of mind knowing we solve your transmission troubles fairly and honestly and guaranteed nationwide. Call us at Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road, where quality counts. Get traction. Call Action at 744-0755.
Was your roof affected by the recent hail or windstorm? Call Brannan Roofing today for your free roof inspection. That's Brannan Roofing. 904-813-4967. 904-813-4967, or check them out at brannanroofing.com.
Need ammo? Then grab your friends and come to the gun show. Get them while you still can. Hundreds of guns, knives, and more with concealed carry classes daily. USA Gun Shows is coming to the Ramona Pavilion in Jacksonville this Saturday and Sunday. Follow USA Gun Shows on Facebook and online at usagunshows.com.
Mom, can we have some ice cream?
I've got a better idea. Who wants to help me make something fun and healthy instead?
Eating smarter is easy and delicious. Interested in receiving healthy recipes and a whole lot more in your email? Then register at healthiestweightfl.com and learn more about all the small steps that you can take on the way to living healthy. This message is sponsored by the Ounce of Prevention Fund of Florida, the Florida Department of Health, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
smoked for hours, served in minutes. Now that sounds like good barbecue, and it is at Willie Jewell's in St. Augustine at Mirabella Crossing. Open 7 days a week. It's old school barbecue. Trivia night on Monday. Kids eat free on Wednesdays. Check out the Willie Jewell's app and catering for all of your events. Visit williejewels.com and visit Willie Jewell's at Mirabella Crossing in St. Augustine. Old school barbecue, smoked for hours, served in minutes at Willie Jewell's.
Hi, I'm here reporting from one of the vaccine locations, and we're asking people today why they decided to get vaccinated. Ma'am, why are you getting the vaccine?
I'm getting the vaccine so that I can travel and be safe.
The COVID vaccine is a safe and proven way to get our lives back to normal. This is why the Florida Division of Emergency Management partnered with local community leaders to create Vax904.com. Visit Vax904.com or call 357-0892 to get more information.
This is Greeny with Mike Greenberg.
Russell Wilson's agent on the record gave Shefty 4 teams Russell Wilson would like to play for. That is an important distinction in this conversation.
Weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio and watch exclusively on ESPN Plus.
Brent Martineau.
All right, Jason Fitz, thanks for checking in, man. We didn't try to keep you too long today. We gave you a shorter day.
Austin Lane.
Hey, Jason, real quick, man. Since you have that Bowman-Koff Award, since you can, vote on that, Murray State's got a couple good receivers. Now, they didn't play this year, okay? They didn't play a game this year, but Murray State's got a couple good receivers. Just check them out real quick.
Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
Yeah, health-wise, I'm feeling really good. I don't know what percentage I'd be. I don't even know how to gauge that, but I'm on track. I'm actually a little bit ahead of schedule, so expecting to be back, whenever we get started. So really ready for that, like I said, to be a part of a team again. And then as far as the logistics of getting here and all that stuff, I haven't figured it out exactly yet. Got to find a spot to stay in first. So trying to figure that out. Obviously, there's a lot of moving parts, but no matter where I'm at, I'm going to start working out here Monday and get back to my normal routine.
That is Trevor Lawrence, number 1 overall pick of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Hopefully we don't have to talk about quarterbacks, drafts, number 1 overall picks for a long time, but it was pretty cool to talk about it. I'll say that. It was fun. It was different, and it was a cool 24 hours or so, and I still think it is in the city. I think you can feel it. And by the way, this kid, let's talk about Trevor Lawrence a little bit as we are at TIAA Bank Field. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, Koo's back in the studios the day after the draft, but the draft continues tonight, and we're going to talk about it because Vegas has odds on what the Jaguars are going to take, and I don't get it. I don't understand it. I think Vegas I don't get the whole thing, or Vegas is wrong, but I'll get to that. First, Trevor Lawrence is – here's the thing. I saw him get out of the vehicle today, right in front of the stadium. So we're out there live in our noon show and anticipating him coming. And the third graders from Long Branch Elementary were there with signs. Really cool. Nice job by the Jags and everybody that set that up. He thought it was cool, him and his wife Marissa. But he gets out, and then you've got all this media. You got some national media. There was some Orlando media. There's all the local media. There's still photographers. There's video cameras. There's reporters. And, it had a paparazzi feel to it. It really did, It's like you don't see a player often. Now, Josh Allen did a couple years ago come with his wife, right? Mm-hmm. But it looked like something out of like the royal family, it really did. It had that. But part of the reason it did, Austin, is because this dude's got a presence about him. Like, he's 6'6", so you notice him, right? You notice him in a crowd. You know that. That's the way you are. You're 6'6".
Yeah.
So when you're that big, you stand out.
Yeah.
But then in this suit that he's got on, with the hair and with all the expectations just kind of shrugged off his shoulders.
Not wearing a tie, by the way, too.
Not wearing a tie,
Not wearing a tie, by the way, Coos, by the way, too.
He commands, like, presence in a room, even though we weren't in a room. Yeah. You know that person that walks into the room and it's like he's there. And that was Trevor Lawrence. And that was the first impression that I got. I also share real quick after pictures and kind of fist pumping the kids and addressing the kids. He was walking away from them and walking through the gates to go take a COVID test. Mm-hmm. And he said to his wife, Marissa, he said, that was very cool. Like, he wasn't prompted to say it. He just thought it was very cool. There's just that, like, almost like a simple nature to him that he appreciated even that moment, which I thought was pretty neat.
It's awesome. And, watching the draft at home on TV, and listen, I'm not going to judge quarterbacks by the reactions or how they handle that big moment. But, like, if you watch Zach Wilson compared to Trevor Lawrence, Trevor Lawrence was Joe Cool, go with the flow. Hey, man, yeah, I mean, and you know what? With all due respect, he saw this coming for a long time.
Plenty of time to prep.
So I
right?
get that. Plenty of time to prep. But one would assume that Zach Wilson had the same thing, right? I think he thought he was going to go number 2 overall. But, like, you know, even like Zach Wilson, I don't want to say, and like, I don't want my words to be misconstrued here, but like, Trevor Lawrence just had that vibe, like, yeah, man, let's get to work, let's go. Like, I mean, I knew this was going to happen. Zach Wilson was a little more, like, excited, like, emotional about it, a little more just like, wow, this is a big moment, holy cow, I hope I don't say anything stupid. Like, he just had kind of, I don't want to say he was nervous or anything, but maybe anxious would be the better word.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence was just calm, cool, collected, kind of what we've grown accustomed from his interviews so far that we've seen. So, like, that's what I took away. You know, Justin Fields, like, he was celebrating, he was excited. Like, there's different reactions for everybody. But, like, the guy that I saw in Trevor Lawrence has been the guy that I've seen the entire time on the football field and off the football field. It seems like he carries the same demeanor with him. And once again, we're very far away from the opening week here of the NFL season, but I feel like that's going to do him, you know, a huge service when he gets out there and it starts to be the leader of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
You know, it's interesting part of the psyche. He has all that. I went to Cartersville, they said that.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Clemson twice, they said that. Talked to Dabo, they say that. Urban Meyer says it. Shad Khan says it. Everybody says it. But to see it, listen, all these travels, all the stalking, as you would say, even though I never did get a restraining order put against me.
Hey, you got plenty of time, man. I saw with you talked to him today a little bit. Now he's putting face to name. He's getting ready to file it right now as we speak.
But all of that, and I never saw him.
Yeah.
Like, never ran into him.
Yeah.
Never met him in person. I saw him through the doors at Clemson as he was throwing in pro day. So this is as seriously, it's weird because I feel like I know him.
Sure.
You know, with all our coverage of him and seeing him, all that stuff, but we really don't. So just that first impression was kind of all that stuff that folks in Cartersville, the folks at Clemson said, but even to see it, it's that presence in the room, and everybody knows what that means, and you can feel that. And you know why I think there's some of it is because he's done this. This is an old dance for him. He's done it since he was in 8th grade. I mean, that's the reality, you know. Tim Tebow, even at a young age, was very comfortable in front of microphone cameras and the rest. Why? Because he had done it for a long, long time. Well, this kid's the same way in that respect. I also think this. I think when you're really good at something, whatever that is, take something you're really good at, whether it's ping pong, whether it's for me, Miss Pac-Man, whether it's for you, putting
watching
movies
anime
together on Twitter. You know,
that's what I'm known for, Brent. My editing skills when I'm making a video. Yes,
but
sir.
when you're really good at something, you puff your chest out a little bit more.
Absolutely.
You walk with a coolness in that moment.
Yeah.
Now, when you're not so great at something, or there's a little bit of curiosity even amongst your own self, and if something, you're a little bit more anxious. You're like, am I going to fit here? This kid knows he's got such good stuff that he's confident. And even at this level, he knows he's going to have good stuff that translates. That's what I say. And I don't say that in an arrogant way. I just think that's the way he carries himself because every single time he stepped on a football field in his life, it's been some of the best stuff that people have seen. And I just feel like he doesn't think that's going to be any different. Not from an arrogant, cocky way, but from a very confident and, hey, this is easy for me. This is slow for me. And in reality, it's not, but he feels that way. You can sense that in people, and I sense that in Trevor Lawrence.
No, and I absolutely agree with you here. Let's be honest. When you go from the college game to the pro game, there is a transition. I don't care how talented you are, how successful you are, or what position you play. There is a transition. What Trevor Lawrence has going for him, though, and listen, like he even said it himself in the press conference, he hasn't earned his stripes yet, right? Like he's got to come in, earn the respect of his teammates, become the leader. Like that takes time. You just don't come in day one and get that. But he's coming into a situation where he seems like he's already initiated, where he seems like he's already been in this environment where he's comfortable with that. And I think, you know, that's one thing that he has over every other quarterback that was drafted last night, is that he's already initiated. At least he seems like he's initiated. Like, once again, that comes down to the demeanor. It comes down to the way he answers questions and just, you know, just his calm, cool nature. That, once again, is going to pay dividends when it's, you know, week 2 of training camp and guys are probably deadbeat tired in this heat. And, you know, they're like, what are we doing out here? Trevor Lawrence could be that guy to say, hey, guys, I got this. We're going to win some ball games.
Yeah.
Trust me. Follow me. And let's go. And that's the best thing about it is you don't have to be the vocal leader, right? You don't have to, you know, chew everybody out and get them motivated. If you just lead by example And I think Trevor Lawrence does a great job of that. Now, I'm sure he can choose somebody out if he has to. But if he just leads by example, I think these guys will eventually follow him for sure.
I agree with you. And he's been in the moments, and the moments aren't too big. And I don't think they will be here in Jacksonville either. It seems like a good fit. It's a good first-day impression. And there's reason to be excited. There really is. Not just because he looks good in a suit, okay? But because he really looks good out here on the field. And we'll continue to talk about Trevor Lawrence, hear from Trevor Lawrence. But I want to ask you this, man. You just had the Vegas odds for tonight at 33 for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yes.
What am I missing? Give us the odds. What am I missing about tonight?
So this is, and once again, I go to these odds a lot. I went to him with Trey Lance because obviously Trey Lance, the odds last night, they dropped big time. He was like minus 180 to 200.
Oh,
so it's kind of obvious that event. He started at plus 400, by the way, a couple days ago.
Even though we could have put money on that.
We should have, and I talked about
we should have done it 4 months ago.
We should have put, exactly. But here we are now. But with cornerback right now in Vegas, and this is according to Bovada.com, which is a pretty reliable source, obviously, when it comes to Vegas. The cornerback position is the favorite to get drafted at the 33rd pick by the Jacksonville Jaguars, and that's minus 350, which is a pretty big favorite in terms of betting. Defensive lineman, and this is insane to me. Defensive lineman, obviously, we talk about Christian Barmore a little bit. Obviously, a new 3-4 defense, you got to establish the defensive line. Urban Meyer likes the trenches. Defensive lineman is plus 1,500. Plus 1,500.
The gap there makes no sense to me.
And then the safety, obviously, Trevon Merrick, a guy that, I think we both like him.
Richie Grant, Merrick,
Plus 450.
When you told me the cornerback was what it was, minus 450?
It's 350.
350? When you said it was that much of a favorite, I said, well, maybe they think Merrick has played corner before and has the capability, and so they're listing him that way in Vegas for some reason as like a secondary member.
Yeah, no.
I cover this team all the time. We talk about them all the time. I don't know if I fully get this. They should, if it was a corner. Now, God bless them if it is. I didn't expect them to take a running back, okay? and I'm okay with the running back. So you can probably talk me into the corner. I saw Miami do this. Why are they adding another corner and another corner? And they had a very good defense. And you play the listen, what people are going to, if they take a corner, they're going to say, listen, you're in the nickel 65, 70% of the time. Like, you have 3 corners out there all the time. I just look at what the Jags have. Last year, C.J. Henderson. This year, they go get Shaq Griffin. That's a pretty good investment in the cornerback position. You have bodies that you actually already invested in, and you have at least veteran guys like Herndon and Sidney Jones to move around that are capable players. I don't fully get the cornerback thing unless they think they have problems potentially with C.J. Henderson that hasn't surfaced yet, and they don't have a lot of confidence there, and they think this kid, whoever they're going to take tonight, what might be Tyson Campbell out of Georgia, could be really good. There were some corners that passed by. The Newsome kid, he got off the board. I don't get it, man. What am I missing? Tell me.
No, I wish I could right now, man. I wish I had the answer for you because we're talking about my position, of football, of defense. I don't get this as well. I don't get it when you don't even know who your starting defensive linemen are interior-wise, and you have Christian Barmore there. I don't get it when you see a guy like Trevon Merrick who could probably be an upgrade from Jared Wilson. Can we say here right now, and once again, let's assume maybe it is Tyson Campbell out of Georgia. Can we sit here and say right now that he comes in day one and starts over C.J. Henderson? Because I can't. I can't say that. And once again, I know it's more than base defense. You go into nickel packages.
Well, they got to see whoever this is as a nickel guy.
Yeah.
I
guess.
They have to.
But I don't know, man.
Listen, and Campbell can fly. So speed, right? Speed.
Sure.
So he can fly. Maybe that's part of it. I just don't fully understand it. I could give you 4 positions. Again, we're going need versus value. Maybe there's a great value pick in here. Maybe the need for speed is more than the need for positions. There could be some other things going on. I'm not saying it's inexplicable. I can tell you a little bit. They really strengthened. Again, Miami, I scratched my head when they did that. They signed guys and they new contract guys and they draft guys all for the corner position. And it looks like it's going to work. It looks like it's going to be a pretty good thing. So maybe they're piggybacking off something like that, or maybe they just see the value of a guy like, if it is Tyson Campbell, that it's so good that we're going to go get this good player. Again, it makes me very curious about C.J. Henderson. Henderson, injury problems last year. There were some weird things going on with C.J. Henderson last year. Yeah. Is there more of an issue with Henderson inside this building than anybody knows? I don't know, but it makes me ask the question.
Well, and keep in mind, too, C.J. Henderson is not Urban Meyer's guy.
He is.
All right? He had nothing to do with C.J. Henderson getting drafted. Now, Trent Baalke was in that room, and he had something to do with it. But what did we just talk about Travis Etienne? It seems like Urban Meyer, at least for the first round, well, at least for the 25th pick, obviously, might be calling the shots a little bit. So, once again, if you're not tied to C.J. Henderson and you don't owe him anything because, once again, new regime, maybe they do go at the cornerback position. But I've spoke my piece on this very much. I feel like with a new defense, with guys that you're unsure of, and you have a bunch of free agent guys that look promising, but once again, they haven't played together yet. We don't know how they're going to mesh together. And you still have some holes on the interior defensive line, and you have a safety spot that can get upgraded. Why you wouldn't go those one or two positions, I have no idea. The fact that it's plus 1,400 for defensive line, dang, Brent.
I want to ask you, who would you take? Because I've got a theory on Barmore a little bit. This is probably not the most original theory, but I'll give you my sense of that versus Merrick, versus the idea going outside the box here, which could be jumping up to maybe because they value a Freiermuth, right? Or because it's Tyson Campbell or another corner, or they go in a position like an offensive lineman. Like, well, really? What? Well, so there's a variety of ways to go.
So if it's me, I take Merrick. I think Merrick's going to be the first guy off the board if it wasn't Jackson.
All right, hold that thought. I want more on why when we come back. Let's take a break. We're at TIAA Bank Field. Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars, home of Trevor Lawrence, home of Travis Etienne, home of who else coming up tonight? 3 more picks on the docket for the Jags. That starts at 7 o'clock, and you can listen to the draft right here on ESPN 690. We'll be back from the bank on ESPN 690.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
Happy Friday. I'm Jake Mitchell. Last night in the NFL, the draft started its first night when Roger Goodell said the words that Jacksonville has been dreaming about ever since they found out the Jaguars had the #1 overall pick.
With the first pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Trevor Lawrence, quarterback, Clemson.
The top 3 draft picks were all quarterbacks this year, with Zach Wilson headed to the Jets at #2 and Trey Lance going to the Niners with pick #3. And come to find out, Trevor Lawrence wasn't the only Clemson Tiger taken in the first round, or even taken in the first round by the Jaguars. Running back Travis Etienne was selected by the Jaguars with the 25th pick in the first round. Rounds 2 and 3 are tonight with the Jags and pick number 33 at 7 p.m. and then concludes tomorrow with round 4 beginning at noon. The Sports Center Update is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Find just what you're looking for at Arlington Toyota. With over 700 new Toyotas available, Arlington has the model you want, with the features you want, at the price you want. And with every new Toyota purchase, you get Arlington's worry-free 30-day exchange policy and a lifetime powertrain warranty with unlimited time and unlimited miles. Shop arlingtontoyota.com or in person at 10939 Atlantic Boulevard.
There is a taste of the islands in every drop of Vida de Luis tequila, imported directly from Tequila, Mexico to Jacksonville Beach. Vida de Luis is the only locally owned tequila in Jax Beach. Support local and try Vida de Luis. Award-winning, smooth, all natural, no aldehydes or additives, which means wake up feeling good the next morning. Find out where you can pick up a bottle of Vida de Luis, Blanco, Reposado, or Añejo. Just visit VitaDeLuis.com. Support local and taste the islands in every drop.
Do you know what it takes to be a successful business owner? If so, share your advice with someone who is eager to learn from your experience. As the nation's premier organization supporting small businesses, SCORE is always looking for people willing to offer their time and expertise to mentor current or aspiring entrepreneurs. We need volunteers from all areas of business, including accounting, finance, human resources, sales and marketing, as well as legal. If you're interested in joining our team, click on the volunteer tab at jacksonville.score.org.
Opening day at the ballpark? It's always been something to celebrate. But this year, after everything, this opening day may be the best one ever. That's why Jacksonville's Hometown Credit Union, One-to-One Financial, and Jacksonville's home team, the Jumbo Shrimp, invite everyone to join us May 4th for opening day. Welcome back, baseball. Welcome back, Jacksonville. Welcome back to opening day, May 4th, From 1 to 1 Financial, a bright path forward.
What defines a hero? Dedication, loyalty, courage. Every day at AMCO, we serve heroes. For over 60 years, we've repaired and maintained the most critical public service vehicles. From complex transmissions to simple brake jobs with flexible financing and the extra safety precautions we need. The heroes we serve don't all wear uniforms. They're people like you. At AMCO, we're proud to serve all of you. AA MCO.
Money tight? We can finance almost anybody. Find the AMCO transmissions nearest you at amcojacksonville.com.
Children who've been abused, neglected, or have serious emotional issues need a comforting place to heal. Daniel offers them residential treatment with intensive therapy, but needs your help in furnishing one of the children's cottages. Please help Daniel raise $150,000 in 150 days to furnish their future. Every new bed or dresser helps create an environment of hope and healing for local kids in crisis. Donate at danielkids.org.
After a car accident, you can feel like you've lost control. I'm Mark Anajar from the law offices of Anajar and Levine. After the crash, call the police and document the scene by taking photos of all the vehicles involved. If you were injured, get medical attention as soon as possible. If you've been involved in a car accident, call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000 for a free consultation. And take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
I should have my kid tell you about Jumpin' Jack's House of Food. It's Ty's favorite burger in town. Make it one of your favorites as well. Jumpin' Jack's House of Food has 3 locations now, Atlantic Beach, Mandarin, and downtown Jacksonville. Change your life burgers. But they have salads, pizza, and much more on the menu, too. Let Jumpin' Jack's House of Food be your great neighbor. Lunch or dinner with the family, or they will cater parties from 2 to 500 people. Jumpin' Jack's, HOF.com for online ordering. Jumpin' Jack's House of Food, open 7 days a week.
Does it feel like finding clothes in your fit is impossible? Tired of feeling overwhelmed with options that just aren't right? Let the experts at Stitch Fix do the shopping for you. At Stitch Fix, we make sure each piece is hand-selected for your life. So whether you're staying home or on the go, Stitch Fix has the answer for what to wear. We make it easy to find what works for you. Signing up takes just a few minutes, and styles are delivered directly to your door. Get started today at StitchFix.com. Stitch Fix, your style delivered.
Max. I can't wake up and say, you know what, I don't want to be here. I don't want to do this. That's not where I am right where I want to be.
The Max Kellerman Show, weekdays at 2 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Watch exclusively on ESPN+.
We have a very good idea, but when we left last night, we felt very good about where we were at, and coming into the day with who's left on the board, how we're positioned, where we're positioned, feel really good about how this day could go. And now we just trust the board, like I said last night, and I think we're at peace with where we're at on the board, and we'll see how it lays out.
That's Trent Baalke. They know where to go, and of course. And I guess you could make the case they could move down. Somebody could trade with them if they covet somebody. But I think there's enough of a bundle of players. Somebody would really have to covet like Barmore or Merrick and make a move. And I just don't see that happen. I think the Jags are going to pick 33rd, and they know who they're taking. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
Brett Martineau, Austin Lane. Coos here on a Friday, a fun Friday in Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne. Who's next? Vegas says it's a corner.
Yes.
If it is a Tyson Campbell, who figures to be the next guy off the board, right? Because there are, like 4 corners go in the first round, I think it was?
Yeah. High commodity for sure.
So what's next? And we're sitting here saying, Trevon Merrick, everybody's talking about him in the process leading up to the draft. What about him at 33? That seems like some value. Christian Barmore out of Alabama, defensive tackle help.
Yeah.
We're just talking in break. We're trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And I would say this. I do think if they don't take a Barmore, I think they might have addressed free agency so much, defensive line so much in free agency. They might have said, you know what, Rome wasn't built in a day. We got what we got for now. We think we got better. Let's move on to another position. They might have done that, which means they don't value Barmore enough to add him to that defensive line.
No, and you're not wrong there, but it also begs the question where Urban Meyer said it himself. You win in the trenches. Okay, so what do we know so far? Malcolm Brown, starting nose tackle, hands down. We know that. Obviously, on one side, in terms of playing that big defensive end role, I think Daniel Ross, obvious, right? I mean, he's going to be the guy going forward from Chicago. Yeah,
Robertson Harris.
I'm sorry, Robertson, not
Harris.
Daniel. These are other. Okay.
Yeah,
Robertson
they added
Harris.
Ross.
Yeah. Robertson Harris. My bad. So Robertson Harris, unequivocally, going to be a defensive end as well. So then the question remains, who's playing the other defensive end? Do you go Jihad Ward? Do you go Taven Bryan? Do you go Devon Hamilton? Do you go Doug Costin? Do you go Adam Gotsis? Do you go Daniel Ross? There's names there. There's intriguing names there, right? Like I think Devon Hamilton earned some stock last year, as he should have. But, like, do we feel comfortable putting any of those guys in the starting role? I would feel Jihad Ward, depending on where his weight is, because, once again, we don't really know exactly what the plan with Jihad Ward is. But if his weight is up there, then, yeah, maybe the starting defensive end as well. But that to me, is where, Christian Barmore can come in and provide a little more depth if he's not going to start day one.
Yeah, so Barmore is a guy that, listen, I liked. I mocked him 25. I think it made a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But the Jaguars know, Charlie Strong knows him, right? You said that. And so, and he slipped. Some teams had him, or some of these drafts, again, these are all just mocks, so it's not like, why did this happen? But had him as high as 16, 17, 18, and nobody picked him in the first round. So is there a red flag area? And there are some signs for Barmore. He only did it for a few games. Mm-hmm. He was a late bloomer at Alabama, but the ceiling is pretty high. Then Merrick. I can't find a lot of red flags on Merrick. Merrick seems to make sense to me, upgradable position at safety. You like Merrick.
I do, a lot.
But let's eliminate Barmore for a moment and say, hey, go my theory. They're done. They addressed it in free agency. They got better. They made a lot of moves at defensive line. They're not going to do anything else there. They don't like this draft for defensive line.
And that's fair.
So let's go corner versus safety.
Yes.
And you just read up Tyson Campbell a little bit more of an outside guy,
Yeah.
not a slot guy. But I mean, listen, everybody can play everywhere, it seems like these days.
True.
But they say a better fit on the outside.
Well, and let's be honest, Brent, like when we're talking the first and second round cornerbacks, usually these guys are taking the one or two receiver on the outside, right? Like very rarely do you take a cornerback who's predominantly played slot in college. So, yeah, if you go after a guy like Tyson Campbell, I think you would put him on the outside. And then it kind of begs the question, well, would he be playing out of position if you do put him in the slot, right? Because what did Joe Cullen, eloquently say? He wants to adapt this defense to who he has as personnel. Well, if you draft a guy like Tyson Campbell, where do you put him then? Do you move C.J. Henderson to like that 3 in the slot? I'm not sure what you do with that.
Well, I said it in the last segment, folks. Is there a red flag about C.J. Henderson?
Yeah.
Injuries, some maybe weird behavior at times last year from the outside looking in. I don't want to go crazy with that, but we did kind of have those conversations last year.
Yeah.
Is there concern about C.J. Henderson here in this building? If they make this pick, I would certainly wonder that. That would lead me to believe that there is a lack of confidence somewhere along the way in C.J. Henderson. Now, we've heard Urban Meyer talk about C.J. Henderson in a very good way. So that kind of was like, okay, he's back, he's good. Any of the rumors that you might hear or anything like that, don't worry about it. But if they pick a corner and expect him to play on the outside, I would question, even if they don't expect to play on the outside, I would question that a little bit. It would make me ask that question not only to myself, but probably to them, what's the deal with C.J. Henderson?
It's one thing, once again, where if you don't get Shaq Griffin, right, if you don't address the cornerback position, then possibly I can see it, right? Because in terms of depth or in terms of another starting caliber guy, I understand. But you spend your revenue, you spend your salary cap on Shaq Griffin. Obviously, he's going to be the top corner coming in here now. And once again, I understand Urban Meyer did not draft C.J. Henderson, so he's not tied to him. But the fact remains, he's still a first-round pick, a former first-round pick that essentially, was supposed to replace Jalen Ramsey. And he's on his first year, right, going into his second year right now. And I always say, you make your most progress from your first year to your second year. So maybe it is serious stuff with C.J. Henderson. Maybe they don't believe in him. Maybe there's something we're not seeing behind the scenes. But I'm just saying, if everything is good with C.J. Henderson and he's on the field week 1, and you have Tyson Campbell or some other corner as well, I just don't know where you're going to put everybody.
Yeah, it'll be pretty interesting. Trevon Merrick is another guy here that the Jags could have their eye on. Hey, listen, there might be somebody else, too. Asante Samuel Jr. is still out there, right?
True.
So maybe that's a corner. Yeah. Everybody's talking now Tyson Campbell.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it could be Asante Samuel Jr.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it very well could be as well. Like I said, I just like Trevon Merrick, man, because what this 3-4 defense is going to try to do, I think he does a lot of those things.
You've always said that. I want you to elaborate on that on the other side. I got to run do a little TV. We talk more about this upcoming draft, these rounds 2 and 3, what the Jags will do, what kind of impact they can get, what else will they do on offense to help Travis Etienne and Trevor Lawrence make this a dynamic offense in the next couple of days. Brent Martin, Austin Lane, live on Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 from the bank when we come back at 4.
Hi, I'm here reporting from one of the vaccine locations, and we're asking people today why they decided to get vaccinated. Sir, why are you getting the vaccine?
Why am I getting the vaccine? Because I want to go to a concert with my friends in a full arena.
The COVID vaccine is a safe and proven way to get our lives back to normal. This is why the Florida Division of Emergency Management partnered with local community leaders to create Vax904.com. Visit Vax904.com or call 357-0892 to get more information.
Need a good paying job with a flexible work schedule and benefits? A1A Solar is looking for you. $70,000 is a reasonable first-year expectation. Seasoned reps can easily make 6 figures. Leads provided to you as well. Health, dental, 401k benefits. A1A Solar is a tremendous company, voted best places to work in Jacksonville, and in 2016 was the Veteran-Owned Business of the Year. Be a part of an awesome company at A1A Solar. Just go visit A1ASolar.com. It's been 6 months since my wife leased her new Cadillac from Fields Auto Group, and she absolutely loves it. It's our first experience with Fields, and it's been terrific. They say you can step up to luxury for less, and we did. Not just a luxury Cadillac XT6. The car is beautiful, but the customer service is extra special, too. It was like that at Fields Cadillac Jacksonville, and it will be like that at any of the Fields locations in Jacksonville. Cadillac, of course, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche as well. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. We are now part of that Fields Amenities program, and my wife tried the loaner program. It was easy and a nice added benefit. So whatever you're driving, see Fields and step up to luxury for less. Check out their locations all around Jacksonville, just like we did. You can go visit fieldsauto.com.
Drive-by birthday parties, virtual weddings. In a world full of things you never thought possible, here's one more. Now you can get Allstate's quality insurance at an affordable rate. When you bundle your home and auto, you'll save up to 25%. With Allstate, you can lower your rates, not your expectations. Visit allstate.com or call an agent for a quote today.
In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company, Allstate Vehicle and Property Insurance Company, and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
O'Reilly. Don't miss out on Clean Car Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. If your car could use a spring cleaning, stop by for great deals on everything you need to keep your car looking new. Like Mother's California Gold Wash and Wax, just $4.99 for a 64-ounce bottle. That's a $6 savings. Visit the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts today or O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Where else can you get luncheon, brunchin', boozin' specials? Only one place, at Culhane's Irish Pub at Atlantic Beach and on the south side. It's as Irish as you can get, owned by 4 Irish sisters. And they've got fish and chips, of course, shepherd's pie. Go today for lunch or dinner. Eat in, order out. Culhane'sIrishPub.com for the full menu. And try the new 5 Sisters Vodka at happy hour. Luncheon, brunchin', boozin' specials, and so much more. 2 locations, Atlantic Beach and the south side. Culhane's Irish Pub, Irish sass with 5-star class.
I'm Action News Jax First Alert meteorologist Garrett Biedenball. Weather here is unique. It could be bright and sunny one minute and then a downpour the next. That's why mornings are when you need us the most. So you can plan your day, no matter if you're getting ready to go to work or working from your living room, getting the kids ready for school or ready for lunchtime. I'm on TV explaining how weather is going to affect your day and night ahead, so you're prepared for anything. I'll get you ready on Action News Jax this morning.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
Against the Kings, it'll be a game-time decision. Baseball Hall of Famer Roberto Alomar is on the ineligible list. He's been working as a consultant for MLB. but he now faces allegations of sexual misconduct. He played for 17 years, winning 2 World Series with the Blue Jays. Rounds 2 and 3 of the NFL Draft coming up tonight in Cleveland. In round 1, the first trade was the Eagles moving up 2 spots. ESPN's Sal Palantonio.
Moving up to get Devontae Smith was a do-over pick. Last year, the Eagles selected Jalen Hurts in the second round. That angered Carson Wentz, imploded the team.
Sal Pal on Greeny. Draft coverage at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio, TV, and the app, with ABC coverage at 7 Eastern. Lance Leipold is the new football coach at Kansas. He'll get a 6-year deal. For the last 6 years, he's been the coach at Buffalo. He takes over for Les Miles, who was fired.
Do you own or rent your home? Sure you do. Fortunately, Geico makes it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. It's a good thing, too, because having a home is hard work. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you could save. Geico.com. Easy.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
Well, the way I've always looked at everything is at the moment, whoever gives us the best chance to win is going to be playing, if that's your question. And that's every position at that moment who gives us the best chance to win. And there is an incredible amount of urgency. I told our players that, all due respect to 4 or 5, 6-year plans, that's not the plan at all. The plan is to try to do the very best we can to win. Every time we line up, you try to win.
Urban Meyer bringing in his guys to try to win right away. No long play here for Urban Meyer. You get the sense that he wants to come in right away, make a splash, and make an impact. Austin Lane here, ESPN 690, Action Sports Jacks. Brent Martin will be right back. He's shooting a little video right now. It's the big question going around right now. Vegas has a cornerback being the favorite for the Jacksonville Jaguars to take at pick number 33. It begs the question, is that the right decision? I think you can go back and forth with Christian Barmore a little bit. We kind of discussed that through our last segment. Keep this in mind, though, if you're a Jaguars fan right now. Odds are that you trust Urban Meyer. Okay, so if you trust Urban Meyer, well, guess who Urban Meyer trusts? Charlie Strong. Charlie Strong, and when he was announced, day one, Urban Meyer made a point to say Charlie Strong is essentially the number 2 of the Jacksonville Jaguars in terms of, coaching decisions. Okay, so if he's the number 2, and Urban Meyer obviously trusts Charlie Strong, if Charlie Strong says no at Christian Barmore at number 33, I think you got to buy into that then. Now, I don't know Christian Barmore personally. Is there some off-the-field issues of where he's dropping? Maybe some more reports will come out there. I think a lot of people had him going in the first round, if not like early in the second round. But Charlie Strong spent a lot of time around him, being, a senior, I think it was like a senior defensive personnel in Alabama. So nobody knows Charlie Strong better on this team. Nobody knows Christian Barmore better on this team than Charlie Strong. So if Charlie Strong says no at 33, then I guess we got to trust him. Trevon Merrick, though, is different to me. Trevon Merrick, once again, a guy who I thought was going first round. I thought it was a no-brainer at first round. Falls to your lap at pick number 33. And Brent set this up for me a little bit. He chalked it up for me. What benefit do you take by taking, Trevon Merrick over a guy like Tyson Campbell or Samuel Jr., something like that at the cornerback position? And once again, I go back to the 3-4 defense of what Joe Cullen has told us so far. Now, I don't know the zone schemes. I don't know what type of blitzes. I really don't know what this 3-4 defense is going to look like. We'll find that out more towards training camp and when I see it with my own eyes. But what I do know is that a 3-4 defense is predicated on confusion, on making that offensive line guess, on making that quarterback look twice and maybe have to audible out some things. And when you do that, it starts with the defensive line, obviously, and Urban Meyer alluded to this. But it also helps. If you truly want to run that 3-4 defense, it helps to have a safety where you can do a lot of things with, who's versatile. That's why I've been such a big proponent of Trevor Lawrence, because I've checked the film, all right? I've watched the tape, as they say, and I've seen this guy go man-to-man at a tight end. I've seen this guy line up in the slot and shut a slot receiver down, okay? I've seen him on the outside take a receiver man-on-man. He's done all these things. So when you talk about the transition in his style from the college level to the pro level, it's tailor-made for a 3-4 defense. It's tailor-made to go, hey, you know what, man? Maybe we're playing against a good tight end. Can you take a man-to-man? Perfect. Now let's go ahead and worry about the wide receivers on the other side, and let's shut those guys down. That is so much more than a luxury. And once again, Jared Wilson, fantastic safety, right? I think in Jacksonville, if you watched any of last season, there wasn't too many times where you're pulling your hair out over Jared Wilson. There's not too many times where you're asking Jared Wilson, what was that, right? So he is a steady player. You like what you have in the secondary with a Jared Wilson. But once again, if the draft was made to upgrade positions, well, then I feel like Meyer could upgrade that position, and now you have somebody who's dynamic, who you can get the full versatility of a 3-4 defense. And like I said, I don't know what it's going to look like. I have no idea. But I do know when you bring in a guy like Bob Sutton, who ran a 3-4 defense in Kansas City, a defense that I played in, 280 pounds, I tried to make it work to the best of my abilities. But when you do that defense in Kansas City, it ran through Eric Berry. Okay? And Eric Berry, once again, it comes down to versatility. If you got to cover Gronk, Eric Berry did it. You got to fill the run, Eric Berry did it. If you got a slot receiver who could be a game breaker, guess who's going to cover him? Eric Berry. Now, Trevor Lawrence is nowhere even close yet to be anointed in the next Eric Berry. But I'm just saying, from what I've seen on film, where a guy that can do a lot of different things, that's what you want out of a 3-4 defense and a 3-4 safety playing center field.
I like it. You've been passionate about that and the kind of role a guy like Meyer could play and be a playmaker in that position. That's the only way you do it, right? It's kind of like I said about the offense. If you're going to get an offensive player, well, then make sure that offensive player is going to change your offense and be dynamic and make defenses really change what they're doing and how they game plan for you. Well, if you're going to upgrade that safety spot, upgrade it not to just a solid player or a little bit better player than Jared Wilson, but a playmaking type of player that you could see making Pro Bowls. If that guy's out there, those guys are tough to get in center field. So I could see the value of Meyer taking place. Hey, we're going to get to more about what the Jags are going to do, because how much better can they get tonight is a sincere question. I really think these three picks, maybe in conjunction with Etienne, outside of Lawrence, are what makes this speed up. The process of getting better quicker is right here. 25 last night, these three picks today. If you do well here, you can turn this thing quicker. Look at the teams that have really hit in their first and second rounds, the San Franciscos of the world that were able to flip it. Well, those players played very well for them. And so can you do that? Well, tonight is a big night for Trent Baalke, Urban Meyer, Shad Khan to try to get this thing going in the fast lane rather than just a gradual back to relevancy for this franchise. But let's talk about the first round anyway, everywhere else. Quarterbacks, Trey Lance. We were right about Trey Lance. Mac Jones goes 15. Is everybody in the world now scared Belichick got a quarterback, even if it's Mac Jones?
Listen, it was my prediction that New England would be the first team to trade up to get a quarterback. Well, Mac Jones ends up just falling right in Bill Belichick's hands. For what they do, and I get it, they had Cam Newton last year, and we saw what that looked like. Cam Newton wasn't at his best, might be on the back nine of his career. But with what they've had with Tom Brady the past, decade and a half, it seems like, Mac Jones was tailor-made to be a New England Patriot, right? And when you add weapons already, in terms of the tight end and Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry, I think it's a match made in heaven. It begs the question, does he come right away and become the day one starter? I doubt it. I think they roll with Cam Newton in the beginning to get Mac Jones a little more comfortable. But accuracy is a thing that we don't talk about a lot in terms of NFL quarterbacks. We always talk about mobility and playmaking ability and improv and all this stuff. Don't get it twisted. Accuracy is still a very important thing. And in a Josh McDaniels defense of what he's accustomed to running, accuracy is everything.
Mac Jones, by the way, congratulations to him. That's a really cool story. Going 15 to the Patriots, what an organization he gets to go join. And the hometown kid, I really like these stories. And we've said it countless times. I like Mac's story because he came from nowhere. I mean, this day and age, if you're not kind of like this star, kind of like Trevor Lawrence, right, in 8th grade and 9th grade, you're like, well, where does this guy come from? Well, that was the case with Mac. Now, people who know him close said he was always very good, but in terms of everybody knowing him, wasn't the case. It took till his junior year of summer, really, for them to be like, whoa. Who is this guy? He's starting to rise. Kentucky offers him. Alabama offers him. Why is he going to Alabama? Well, Heisman conversation, national champion, and a first-round draft pick. Nobody saw that coming. His family might have, his friends might have, but nobody in the outside world saw that coming some 5-6 years ago, and here he is. So it's a credit to him. It's an awesome story. I think it's a great story for kids to see that just keep grinding, keep living the dream, and now we'll see how good of a quarterback he can be in the NFL. He's not going to be probably the day one starter. I think Cam Newton will have that role for now, but he's going to have to hold off Mac Jones.
But isn't it kind of just – isn't it storytelling 101, though? When you look at what Tom Brady, when he's really thriving, when he had those 2 tight end sets with Aaron Hernandez and Rob Gronkowski, and, they had okay wide receivers. You look at what they have right now, obviously, with Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry, and they got Nelson Aguilar, and a pretty solid running game with Sony Michel and James White. Like, there's a lot of similarities, let's just say, and once again, not really to call Mac Jones the next Tom Brady. Obviously, you got to earn that. But there's a lot of similarities with how this team is constructed and what they have at their personnel, where you could compare a little bit of that with what Brady had back in the day when he was really firing on all cylinders.
So Mac Jones goes to the Patriots. Do you feel like, kind of what I said, is this, oh, man, the Patriots, they lucked into a quarterback. We thought 5 quarterbacks might be off the board. They didn't even have to move. They sat and waited. They got a guy who many people thought could be the 3rd overall pick or the 4th overall pick. It seems like a heck of a value pick for the Patriots just based on the narratives out there. Although you start to ask yourself, if the Patriots did not take him, let's just say at this moment they didn't take him, maybe Washington takes him. Yeah. I'm not sure who else does. It could have been a fall almost to the end of the first round where somebody would have traded up to kind of go get him. So I think that part's interesting. We thought Mac Jones would be a very fascinating player to watch in this draft, and I believe he was. But the Patriots fall into Mac Jones at 15. They don't have to move at all. Is this just the Patriots hitting the jackpot? Yeah. Is the AFC East on alert now? Is the AFC on alert? The league on alert with Belichick?
You know what? I think, first of all, I think the division has to be on alert first and foremost. Now, keep in mind, you still have the Buffalo Bills playing a very high-caliber brand of football. So I think they're still the favorites. But, and I talk about this all the time with the New England Patriots. They always seem to have a plan, right? Like it's Hannibal and the A-Team. We always got a plan, right? Well, that's what Bill Belichick feels like. When they brought back Cam Newton, that didn't seem like the plan to me. Because I look at the resume from last year, I was like, you bring back Cam Newton and he's going to lead him again? I get it. You had tight ends and all this stuff, but are you that confident in Cam Newton? So you felt like in the back of your mind there was a plan. Well, as this draft shook out a little bit and the Bears tried up to get Justin Fields and Mac Jones was sitting right there, I was like, well, man, maybe New England's better to trade up to get Mac Jones because if he's gone, then what's the plan? Is Cam Newton truly the plan? I'm not sure how Bill Belichick would feel about that. So, we didn't see an aggressive brand of a draft from the New England Patriots so far because essentially Mac Jones fell to him. But once again, I think it's an example of the rich get richer because they needed that to happen, and lo and behold, the Patriots' way, it happened.
Bigger winner, the Patriots getting Mac Jones or the ability for Chicago to trade up and land Justin Fields?
Ooh, that's a great question. You know what? I think from the organizational standpoint, you have to go with the Bears here. Now, do they give up a lot? Absolutely. But you got Ryan Pace on literally his last leg there at that organization, and one could, argue if Matt Nagy is on his last leg as well. They needed a flash in the pan. They need to make something happen because what do you got right now? Mitch Trubisky, Nick Foles, Andy Dalton. I get it. You said Andy Dalton was QB1. How'd that reaction go on social media? Not too good for the Chicago Bears. So I felt like I like the Bears a little better just because you got to risk it for the biscuits sometimes, as I always say. And they definitely did that with Justin Fields, and I think they got a great one.
Yeah, I think it was a brilliant move by Chicago to get up there, if not just to save face at the quarterback position. Yeah. But seriously, once Fields falls out of the top 10, that's where you look to move, in my opinion. When someone falls out of the top 10, especially if you're in the back a little bit, like at 20 where they were, if the Patriots had to move up a couple spots, if Washington had to move a couple spots, even if it wasn't a quarterback. Like I said, the Jags at 25, go ahead and move up if you feel a player dropped out of the top 10 or is now available at 13, 14, 15, say a Devontae Smith or something like that. So I really think the ability to move up in that spot was smart. And I do think, listen, I'm going to stay solid here, okay? I'm not going to be a hypocrite just because the narrative has changed. I think Justin Fields is going to be a good football player in the NFL.
Yeah.
Now, where you end up is so important. Can they build around him? Can they do the right things? They have been an off-and-on kind of franchise the last decade. They've had a couple of moments, and then they've had a couple of head-scratchers. So what they do around him, what Pace does, can they save their jobs and now build a run around Justin Fields? We'll see.
Sure.
But I do think Fields pretty good. And I think Chicago, I kind of agree with you. I think Chicago is a bigger winner. I think both are winners, Patriots,
Yes.
Chicago. But I think Chicago is a bigger winner here.
Because they had to. They had to do something. Like, listen, all due respect to Andy Dalton, but how confident are you rolling him out there, especially when your jobs are on the line? Like, you get the sense that front office for the Chicago Bears, they're like the prize fighter that's on their last leg, right? Like, you draft Kevin White. How did that work out? You drafted Leonard Floyd. How did that work out? You obviously give up all the capital to get a guy in Mitch Trubisky, who you took over guys like Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson. So you're on your last leg right now. You're getting ready to go down, and you throw one last haymaker and say, hey, you know what? Here we go. All the chips are in. Justin Fields, save my job. That's what it seems like from at least Ryan Pace and probably Matt Nagy as well.
Yeah, look at the rest of the AFC South, and obviously Kwity Paye falls to 22. Yeah. I think the Titans did good work there. They got a little fortunate, in my opinion. That's a guy who many people thought could be a top 15 pick. Mm-hmm. Their defense has struggled to generate pass rush. Yep. Kwity Paye is a big win for the Titans, who, again, with the Colts, are certainly the favorites and have the upper hands in the AFC South. Yeah. I think Kwity Paye is a nice win for the Titans, unfortunately.
No, Kwity Paye went to the Colts.
Oh, did he go 21?
Yeah,
I keep reversing.
I get what you're saying. So Kwity Paye went to the Colts, and then the other dude went to you're thinking of Russo? No, not Russo.
Phillips went 18 to Miami. I was live right there on TV as this is all going down. Remind me who the Titans picked then. So the Colts. Then the Colts win the day with Paye to get that kind of value.
Yeah. The Titans got the dude from Notre Dame. I believe, right? As I'm looking at it. No, dude, hello.
You watched the draft.
Yeah, the Titans drafted Caleb Farley. Hello.
Farley,
the guy from Virginia Tech who, he's got the back
by the way,
issues.
another helper, though.
Yeah, and by the way, a little disrespectful to my guy at LSU, who I, hold very highly at the cornerback position, who I had last year, the cornerback from LSU.
Yes, Christian
Fulton. Yeah, so a little disrespectful to Christian Fulton. Not sure what they're thinking about there. But, yeah, so they get Caleb Farley. Kwity Paye goes in Indianapolis.
So then Indy, by the way, wins it because they already got a good defense, and now they add – and I think they got tremendous value with Kwity Paye.
And keep in mind, they lost Justin Houston, who was kind of a stable guy there in terms of their pass rush. They lose Justin Houston. He's in free agency right now, so you replace him with Kwity Paye. Yeah, Kwity Paye is a guy where if he gets the right coaching, if he gets the right technique, could be – and I hate to say it, but he could be a monster in the division for a long time to come.
I feel like the Colts already are pretty good. Obviously, the Titans are already pretty good, so they get better on defense while the Jags are trying to get better on offense. It's an interesting dynamic in the AFC South to keep an eye on the rest of this draft, of course. But the Titans needed to get some help defensively. They would be okay trying to generate more pass rush, too, because that's been an issue, although they addressed it in free agency already. But it's the Titans and the Colts right now in the AFC. Jags are playing catch-up. But here's what I do like about it. I think now with Trevor Lawrence, I think with Etienne, and this is why I almost would build the offense and keep adding pieces, because I want to strike a little bit of fear in the rest of the AFC South.
Sure.
I want to say to you defensive coaches here, when you come out of this weekend, hey, put us up on the board and look at us on paper and go ahead and try to defend this. What are we even thinking here in Jacksonville? How are we going to use Laviska Shenault? How are we going to use Travis Etienne? How good is Trevor Lawrence going to be all right? Those are sincere questions that the opposing teams that the Jags play, but especially in the AFC South, can now ask themselves. It's not a doormat anymore. Now it's an offense that you might have to deal with.
No, and absolutely. And when you talk about the wide receiver position, I get it. It's a very deep position right now. It's a sexy position. I'm sure if the Jaguars address it in the second or third round, fans will love that a lot. I guess my question would be, though, you bring in Travis Etienne, and like you kind of alluded to a little bit, where he could do a lot of different things in the receiving game, right? Like if you don't get that coveted tight end like you're searching for, Etienne can maybe fill that void a little bit out of some different types of formations. if you do address the wide receiver position second or third round, well, that shows that, hey, we got a starting caliber guy. Who takes the back seat then? Like, obviously Marvin Jones would be the starter. Obviously DJ Chark would be the favorite. So now we're talking about, like, Laviska Shenault taking a back seat a little bit, because we saw a lot from him last year, and I think we liked what we saw from him. Like, who takes that back seat?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, someone's got to.
You have to have you only have so many plays, right?
Correct.
I mean, you're going to get to, some close to 60 plays.
Yeah.
You're only going to pass half the time of them.
Yeah.
So it's a fair question.
Yeah.
But what you can run, and if we're asking the question, defenses are asking the question, I think that's the point.
Yeah.
It's like, what are they going to look like?
Yeah.
And that's obviously the conversation we'll have once the draft is over, and as we maybe even get a chance to see them out on the practice field, or they start to take the practice field. Quite honestly, I asked Trevor Lawrence today, what are you guys going to look like? He's like, I don't even know on offense just yet. Basically that's what he said.
Yeah.
But they've got some pieces, is the point. And I love the fact that now the rest of the AFC South has to game plan around some of those pieces. That's why I'm interested to see if they make one more move. Tight end's obvious, because they need it in the room.
Yeah.
Will they make one more move that surprises us on offense from a playmaker standpoint? Right now I'm betting against it, but it would be interesting if they do.
Well, let me ask you this. Would you be surprised in the second or third rounds to take offensive line? Would that be a surprise?
65, I could find themselves seeing some value to do that.
But the second round, definitely a surprise.
I would think so, yeah. Because I think there's just too many positions right now, like we've been talking about. I know we come back to need.
Get the off-the-rails button ready, maybe, huh?
Well, we come back to need. They sit here and talk about value, so I can understand it in the third round. I just think there is some need-based stuff going on here. And the depth at the tackle position, the offensive line position is strong enough to get one in the third or even maybe the fourth. Much, much more conversation coming up about, this draft here tonight. Second round, third round, 5 more picks tomorrow. The rest of the NFL draft. What else surprised us in the first round? And how good are some of these players going to be? We're back at the bank in just a few. ESPN 690 rolls on here on a Friday heading into the weekend.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Partly sunny today, a widely scattered late-day shower or thunderstorm. We'll top out near 90 degrees, but cool off to the lower 60s tonight. Join me beginning at 5 p.m. for CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax from the First Alert Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds, where you get the lowest diamond price guaranteed or your money back.
Texting enrolls you into reoccurring automated text messages. Message and data rates may apply.
Come on, one more rep. You got this. 10. There it is. Nice work, man. You're a beast.
Thanks, man. I feel better than I have in years. And I got to tell you, taking Nugenix makes a huge difference for me.
Nugenix? That's the testosterone booster with TV ads with Frank Thomas. The big hurt, right?
Oh, yeah. This is a legit product. The key ingredient is Testofen, which helps boost free testosterone levels and increase lean muscle mass.
Well, it's clearly working for you. Hey, are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try for themselves?
Yeah, Nugenix is a great way to increase lean muscle and feel stronger with more energy and endurance.
Man, I need to get a complimentary bottle of Nugenix.
No problem. You just got to send them a text. Text BEACH to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix, the #1 selling free testosterone booster at GNC. Nugenix samples are not available in stores, so text BEACH to 321-321 right now. Text BEACH to 321-321. Text BEACH to 321-321.
Ever finally get around to trying something and it's so much better than you expected, where you're mentally kicking yourself for not doing it sooner or wondering where it's been your whole life? That's how Griffin customers feel about their Florida-rated AC. They even tell me,
we're never going back to regular AC.
And it's the same for our Florida-rated water heaters, too. It's so much better, our customers wonder why no one told them about it before. Well, we fix what others can't. Tired of having to run a shower or faucet for 3 minutes before you actually get hot water? We can fix that.
Nice.
Tired of Jacksonville's swampy hard water hurting your appliances and hair? We can fix it.
Naturally.
Tired of a tank water heater going bad every 5 to 8 years or running out of hot water?
Yep.
Griffin can fix that big time.
Oh, yeah. I never knew I could have hot water as soon as I turn on the tap.
And my hair could be so much healthier. And my appliances can last longer.
Well, you can, but only if you call
GriffinService.com.
1430-261, 1250-697.
Hi, I'm attorney Robert Rubenstein, and this is Rubenstein's Rules for Personal Injury. Rule number 5, do not ignore your injuries. Right after an accident, most people don't realize how bad their injuries are. Injuries can get worse over time. Early medical treatment is crucial. Beware of clinics that treat only your neck and back. What about your knees, shoulders, head, and other injuries? Come see us. We'll talk about all your injuries and get you the compensation you deserve. Call Rubenstein Law at 1-800-FL-LEGAL. Offices in Jacksonville and throughout Florida.
It's Good Morning at Moe's in St. Augustine only at 312 and US 1. It's the only Moe's in the country serving breakfast burritos. Full breakfast menu only at the St. Augustine location. Made to order food in the drive-thru. Hot, fresh breakfast on the go. Make it a better morning with Moe's Southwest Grill. Start your days with the home wrecker breakfast burrito. St. Augustine location only, served daily at 6 a.m. Moe's is ready to serve you breakfast. Make it a better morning with Moe's.
Firefighters, paramedics, police officers, they take care of us, and at AMCO, we're proud to take care of them. For over 60 years, we've repaired and maintained the most critical public service vehicles. As an essential business, we work on every kind of car repair with flexible financing and extra safety precautions. Essential, reliable, trusted. That's the men and women who are there for us, and it's our honor to be there for them. AA MCO.
Money tight? We can finance almost anybody. Find the AMCO transmissions nearest you at amcojacksonville.com.
Hi, I'm here reporting from one of the vaccine locations, and we're asking people today why they decided to get vaccinated. Ma'am, why are you getting the vaccine?
Why am I getting the vaccine? So that I can go back to church.
The COVID vaccine is a safe and proven way to get our lives back to normal. This is why the Florida Division of Emergency Management partnered with local community leaders to create Vax904.com. Visit Vax904.com or call 357-0892 to get more information.
I'm Josh Scobie, proud supporter of the Guardian Catholic School, where we believe that every child deserves access to a quality faith-based education. Grab your friends and join me for the 17th Annual Golf Classic on June 14th at Jacksonville Golf and Country Club. Play a round of golf to raise money for educational scholarships for deserving children in North Jacksonville. Become a sponsor or reserve your space for the 17th Annual Golf Classic on June 14th. Visit GuardianMillionDollarShootout.com or call 904-765-1920. Guardian Catholic School, faithful protectors of potential.
Smoked for hours, served in minutes. Now that sounds like good barbecue, and it is at Willie Jules in St. Augustine at Murabella Crossing. Open 7 days a week. It's old school barbecue. Trivia night on Monday. Kids eat free on Wednesdays. Check out the Willie Jules app and catering for all of your events. Visit williejules.com and visit Willie Jules at Murabella Crossing in St. Augustine. Old school barbecue, smoked for hours, served in minutes at Willie Jules.
Hey, it's Coos from Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Now, I know there's a ton of ways you can listen to the show, but did you know one of the ways is through a smart speaker? Yes, the Google Home, the Amazon Alexa. It's pretty easy to do. Just tell either of them to play ESPN 690. Try it out weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m., and you can listen to Action Sports Jax.
Brent Martineau.
But, man, when you hit, what is that button you used to hit, like the X button to accelerate?
Austin Lane.
I haven't played Madden in like 10 years. Sorry to let you down there.
That was a major letdown.
Yeah.
I mean,
Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
Obviously, played together for 3 years. There's a whole lot of memories, and he's made a ton of plays. I hate to say it in front of Coach, but he had 2 plays against Ohio State that were pretty special. So had a little dump pass to him, and then threw a screen to him, went like 50 yards. So he's just special, not only as a player, but as a person. So just really glad I get to have a former teammate come along with me on this new journey. Not expecting it at all. And then we had been celebrating and hanging out and taking pictures and doing everything. So we weren't even really watching the draft. And then we knew we were picking at 25, so started watching around 20. I had no idea who we were going to take. And then I got a text right before it went on TV, picking Travis. So I was like, I didn't even know we were going to take a running back. It was awesome.
That is Trevor Lawrence today as he was introduced right here in Jacksonville. We just heard he has left the building. I actually saw a picture. Someone I know that knows Trevor pretty well sent me a picture of him in the locker room fully uniformed. I showed you.
Nice. How did it look,
16
Brent?
it's going to be, right?
It looked pretty good.
I was interested. I don't know if that's for pictures or he just tried the uni on.
That's a good call.
Is that a common thing?
That's a great call because we're a long ways away from the season opener. So, as far as the media packages, you're fine right now. That's a good call. Maybe you just want to put it all on.
Maybe just for sizing for the equipment guys.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe he's coming out and throwing some footballs.
Nah, he just left.
Are you sure? Because I can drop my tight end skills real quick.
That's
Make
right.
him think twice about Tim Tebow. Just saying. Just saying.
Tebow to Jacksonville.
Minus 300, by the way, right now in Vegas.
Well, I think it's about the more and more we hear, it's like a done deal.
Yeah.
But I think they're just going to hold off until after the weekend. They don't want to steal the spotlight.
Yeah.
They obviously didn't leak it out of here.
Yeah.
Somebody else leaked it and found it out because I don't think they wanted that out on draft day. And I'm telling you, this was something that I can't believe hadn't got out like 6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Because it's been in the works for that long. At least that's what we heard. And again, full disclosure, I would have reported it if we could have fully found out. But now in hindsight, we were hearing stuff for the 6 weeks and he had worked out. And so now we're starting to hear it's a done deal and just kind of waiting for the weekend to clear. And even Trent Baalke said, we'll deal. Yes, he did work out. He's trying out the tight end position is what he's looking into.
Sure.
And we'll talk more about it after the draft, but let's take care of the draft first. So it kind of indicated late last night that, yeah, it's happening. We'll see. What does it mean, by the way? How do you treat this? If you're Urban Meyer and the Jaguars, we're in the city of Jacksonville. It's the Tebow name. Meyer and Tebow live next to each other.
Yeah.
How do you treat this if you're the brass, the owner, the players? It's an interesting dynamic because do we even know he can play tight end?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Is this kind of the circus coming to town feel? Which, by the way, Tebow is just being Tebow, but
no,
it comes
it's nothing
with
to do
him
with
sometimes.
him, but it does follow him, yes.
And especially in this city,
yeah.
Is this kind of feel like a marketing whatever? I don't know. How are we viewing this, and what happens if Tebow does officially sign and it gets done and he's part of this football team, at least for the foreseeable future?
It's in my eyes at least, it's so hard to predict if he was to sign what the reception would be. Because we were all around here for Tebow Mania. I was here my first game, when we played the Denver Broncos, and he was on the bench. But I saw so many Broncos jerseys. I thought I was at a away game. I'm like, this is what it's gonna be like now in Jacksonville.
Yes.
Away games.
Yes.
But that was the Tim Tebow effect, right? He goes to play baseball, and the hype is there for a little bit, and then it kind of fizzles out a little bit. And and he has an okay minor league career, and then chooses to walk away. But during that minor league time, he gradually, the intrigue, the hype, it all kind of went down. And now all of a sudden it's elevated once again with these reports saying that he's going to play tight end for the Jacksonville Jaguars. How do you handle it? What becomes of it? Once again, I don't have that answer, but I will say this. I think in this city with Tim Tebow, it would create I don't want to say a ruckus, but it would create excitement, I guess. Maybe enthusiasm. Enthusiasm brings media from the national level. So it would add to the already seems like kind of circus with as I look over here with a bunch of people taking pictures. It already adds a little bit, obviously, with Trevor Lawrence and Urban Meyer. And now you're adding more weight to that bar with Tim Tebow coming in. So it's just another wrinkle. I think Urban Meyer can obviously handle it because we're talking about a guy who Urban Meyer knows extremely well. They're practically neighbors, for crying out loud. Might be an TV show for years to come. We'll see. So Urban Meyer can definitely handle it.
Part of the Urban Meyer Family Podcast?
For sure.
Team Meyer Podcast. That's what it's called. Yeah.
So Urban Meyer can definitely handle it, but the biggest question is it good for the locker room, and can the players handle it?
Yeah, and here's the thing about Tebow. Tebow, in the minor leagues, in professional baseball, they raved about him as a teammate.
Yeah.
He did a great job of deflecting a lot of that stuff. Said, I'm just one of these guys. I know I got to deal with all this stuff on the outside, but word is he did a great job of that.
Yeah.
If you listen to teammates, there were no stories coming out. So
he had every right to be like, I'm taking my own plane wherever I want to go. You know what I'm saying? The bus?
Yeah.
I don't get on the bus. Give me the back seat at least, and maybe we're talking.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And he probably bought dinner a few times for those guys.
I'm sure he did.
But I think so internally, while some of us will say, well, how's the locker room going to feel about this? Tim Tebow, neighbors with Urban Meyer, played for him at Florida. That seems like you're playing favorites or whatever. I don't think that's going to be as much of an issue as we might make it on the outside, or if you have that perception of something that works here like that, because I think he's a good teammate. I think he knows how to handle the situations. I think he's going to make that transition easy. I think I'm more just curious if this does happen, which it looks like it's trending that way. What happens when you got to cut him? What happens when you're not if he's not good enough? Like, what happens? Like, that's interesting. No Thanksgiving in Glen Kernan. I mean,
once again, this is why it's got to be a reality TV show on the E! Network, Brent. Like, if that cut day comes, can you imagine the ratings? I tune in for that. I mean, we watch Hard Knocks for what? Sometimes we watch Hard Knocks for players to get cut. It's intriguing television. You know, I'm not sure what would happen, but once again, and I can't echo this enough, and I talked about it ad nauseum yesterday, but I'm going to bring it up again. You know, I wonder with Tim Tebow if there's a theory that, yes, he's playing the tight end position, but also we can give him some gadgets and he can be like the Taysom Hill from the New Orleans Saints. You know, like, I wonder if Urban Meyer kind of has that in his mind a little bit, because let's keep in mind, drafting Travis Etienne in the first round, it shows that you want to be dynamic and different. I always talk about it. And in the draft sometimes, you think outside the box. Etienne, that's outside the box thinking. I think if you were to bring Tim Tebow back, I mean, number one, that's outside the box thinking already. But then when you put him in a position where, okay, obviously playing tight end like you want, like he says he's going to, but maybe the backup quarterback role or like the gadget guy as well, well, now you got a lot going on. And you know how I felt about it. I talked about it yesterday. I don't got to repeat myself. I wouldn't be the most excited for that. Because, once again, in New Orleans, when you had Drew Brees, he was on the back nine of his career. And keep in mind, Drew Brees is not mobile by any means. Now, he shook me out once towards his end zone right here, and that was my own doing, not Drew Brees' doing. I will never give him the satisfaction. I also sacked him later that day, so we're even. That's what Drew Brees was bringing to the table. Trevor Lawrence is mobile. He can be that run threat. Defensive lines have to respect his mobility. So, to me, if you bring Tim Tebow in a position where he can back up Trevor Lawrence and come in every once in a while, I just don't like going down that road.
I just tweeted real quick, though. It is, if you're an offensive play caller and you think about the Taysom Hill role, I don't know if it would be exact, but just think about a couple wrinkles like that. Yeah. And you have Shenault, who already, to me, is one of the most unique players this organization has ever had.
Yep.
Ever had.
Yeah.
I think he might be the most unique.
Yeah.
And now you have Etienne, who I think is going to be heavily involved in the passing game. I see him all over the place on this offense, however they want to use him, not just sitting there in the backfield along with James Robinson, part of it, but not the only part of it. And so if you're a play caller and you look at those three guys and just say they were on the roster, even if it's for a preseason game, it would be fun to dial up a play or two. I mean, it feels like there's a Madden play involved somewhere along the way where Shenault, Tebow, and Etienne could have some fun.
No, and I hear you, man. And, like, is it exciting? Yes. Would it be trending on Twitter? Probably. But what are we talking about, though? Like, we just got done for the past couple of months stating how Trevor Lawrence could be, you know, the greatest thing since Andrew Luck, right? Where this guy's going to come in and turn everything around. So then why would I have to watch Trevor Lawrence run off the field for a couple plays so Tim Tebow can take that spot? I just get the sense that, once again, unlike Drew Brees, who wasn't a versatile quarterback, who wasn't a mobile quarterback, I just feel like Trevor Lawrence can do it all. That's why he went number one overall, and guess what? He's young, so there's no injury concerns. So keep him out there. You brought him in to be the starting quarterback of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Let him be that guy.
We had a sprinkler or two here at the stadium, and it kind of felt nice because that sun beaming the last couple of days has been beautiful, but it's also been hot out here in the afternoon. Travis Etienne was just out there in the club.
What's going on? Okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
So he was out in the club taking some pictures.
Cool.
Travis Etienne here about an hour after Trevor Lawrence arrived, and Trevor Lawrence is now gone. And now what with Trevor Lawrence and trying to find a house and where to live and now get acclimated to Jacksonville inside this stadium, and the little parade part of this is probably over for the time being for Trevor Lawrence, and now it's time to get to work.
I think he said Monday he's going to come in and get to work right away.
Yeah. And so how quickly he can, endear himself to his teammates is interesting to me. We won't know that. We won't see that. and how much he can even do during this process. Some of it's virtual. It's obviously the off-season conditioning. When that takes, it might not be until the middle of August until what I just said comes to fruition. But I think that's kind of the next phase. Is that fair enough? Obviously, he's got to learn the playbook. He's got to do those things. He's got to still continue to get healthy and get back to full strength with a non-throwing shoulder. But once all that goes down, I would say I'm most interested in how his teammates respond to him and how quickly they kind of put their arms around him. We talked to Josh Allen, DJ Chark yesterday, and you can tell that's already happening.
Oh,
right?
yeah. I mean, whether that's group text messaging, whether it's, being around the stadium, which a lot of guys I believe are, that's already happening. And once again, you still got to earn your stripes on the practice field and then during the games, but, they're already starting that process as well. And like you said, I mean, once that shoulders back to 100%, then he can kind of, take the chains off and turn everything loose. I am worried about his throwing hand, though, too, in terms of tendonitis, because the guy is signing so many endorsement deals, it seems like, where it begs the question, hey, Trevor Lawrence, hopefully it's over online where you just click a button and it signs your signature automatically, because the guy is signing paycheck after paycheck after paycheck.
I don't know if I should be saying what's next for Trevor Lawrence or kind of like what's next for us.
Yeah.
How do we stop talking about the lead up to the draft? It was an interesting pivot last night. It was like, this place is electric. Here it comes. The ball's dropping. Happy New Year. Happy Trevor Day.
Yeah.
And then, okay, now what?
Well,
good thing there was a 25th pick, I guess.
Yeah, no, for sure. But depending how, tonight goes, though, as well, I'll be honest. Last night, I was a little nervous, even for the number 1 pick. I knew Trevor Lawrence was coming here, but you still got those nerves. You can't wait to see him. And then 25th, I mean, listen, it was 11 o'clock at night. I'm still wide awake. Got to get some sleep, get up early in the morning. But I'm still, wired because I want to see who the 25th pick's going to be. I was nervous about that. Why do I feel a lot more nervous tonight?
That's interesting.
Than I did the first night. Because I thought I had a good idea of what was going to happen last night. Etienne was a surprise to me. But once again, I understand Urban Meyer's side of it. I see the odds right now in Vegas, Brent, cornerback, the top guy. I'm nervous for that. I'm not going to lie. I'm nervous for that.
You're not going to like it if they take corner.
I'm not going to like it.
You already know that.
And then I got to deal with Joe Cullen, probably yelling at me when I say I don't like it. So I can't wait for that experience.
I told you we did see Joe Cullen yesterday. Urban Meyer was funny. He came on our show, our specials that we had. We had a really good time last night on TV. Thanks to all our TV crew for putting that on. A heck of a day in TV land, but it was really fun. And Urban Meyer joined us in our special at 7 o'clock. And I said, now, hey, we don't need any surprises with this number 1 pick. He's like, ratings would go way up.
he understands the business.
He's savvy.
He understands the business.
He understands what's going on.
I like it.
But it was right then I was like, all right, they're not surprising anybody. We already knew it, but thanks for confirming. He even had fun with that question. We'll be back. Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690. We're live at TIAA Bank Field. Jags fever continues here on a Friday in the River City.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
Happy Friday. I'm Jake Mitchell. Last night in the NFL, the draft started its first night when Roger Goodell said the words that Jacksonville has been dreaming about ever since they found out the Jaguars had the number 1 overall pick.
With the first pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Trevor Lawrence, quarterback, Clemson.
The top 3 draft picks were all quarterbacks this year, with Zach Wilson headed to the Jets at number 2 and Trey Lance going to the Niners with pick number 3. And come to find out, Trevor Lawrence wasn't the only Clemson Tiger taken in the first round, or even taken in the first round by the Jaguars. Running back Travis Etienne was selected by the Jaguars with the 25th pick in the first round. Rounds 2 and 3 are tonight with the Jags and pick number 33 at 7 p.m. and then concludes tomorrow with round 4 beginning at noon. The Sports Center Update is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Hi, I'm here reporting from one of the vaccine locations, and we're asking people today why they decided to get vaccinated. Sir, why are you getting the vaccine?
Why am I getting the vaccine? Because I would like to hug my grandchildren.
The COVID vaccine is a safe and proven way to get our lives back to normal. This is why the Florida Division of Emergency Management partnered with local community leaders to create vax904.com. Visit vax904.com or call 357-0892 to get more information.
Find just what you're looking for at Arlington Toyota. With over 700 new Toyotas available, Arlington has the model you want, with the features you want, at the price you want. And with every new Toyota purchase, you get Arlington's worry-free 30-day exchange policy and a lifetime powertrain warranty with unlimited time and unlimited miles. Shop arlingtontoyota.com or in person at 10939 Atlantic Boulevard.
Where else can you get luncheon, brunchin', boozin' specials? Only one place, at Culhane's Irish Pub at Atlantic Beach and on the south side. It's as Irish as you can get, owned by 4 Irish sisters. And they've got fish and chips, of course, shepherd's pie. Go today for lunch or dinner. Eat in, order out. Culhane'sIrishPub.com for the full menu. And try the new 5 Sisters vodka at happy hour. Luncheon, brunchin', boozin' specials, and so much more. 2 locations, Atlantic Beach and the south side. Culhane's Irish Pub, Irish Sass with 5-star class.
If you're experiencing domestic violence, it is not your fault. Hubbard House is here for you. You are not alone. Hubbard House provides free services and emergency shelter to survivors of domestic violence in Duval and Baker counties. Call 904-354-3114 anytime, 24/7 to confidentially speak to a caring advocate.
I'm Action News Jax First Alert meteorologist Garrett Biedenball. Weather here is unique. It can be bright and sunny one minute and then a downpour the next. That's why mornings are when you need us the most. So you can plan your day, no matter if you're getting ready to go to work or working from your living room, getting the kids ready for school or ready for lunchtime. I'm on TV explaining how weather is going to affect your day and night ahead, so you're prepared for anything. I'll get you ready on Action News Jax this morning.
Texting enrolls you into reoccurring automated text messages. Message and data rates may apply. Come on, one more rep. You got this. 10. There it is. Nice work, man. You're a beast.
Thanks, man. I feel better than I have in years. And I got to tell you, taking Nugenix makes a huge difference for me.
Nugenix? That's the testosterone booster with TV ads with Frank Thomas. The Big Hurt, right?
Oh, yeah. This is a legit product. The key ingredient is Testofen, which helps boost free testosterone levels and increase lean muscle mass.
Well, it's clearly working for you. Hey, are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try for themselves?
Yeah, Nugenix is a great way to increase lean muscle and feel stronger with more energy and endurance.
Man, I need to get a complimentary bottle of Nugenix.
No problem. You just got to send them a text. Text BEACH to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix, the #1 selling free testosterone booster at GNC. Nugenix samples are not available in stores, so text BEACH to 321-321 right now. Text BEACH to 321-321. Text BEACH to 321-321.
It's Good Morning at Moe's in St. Augustine only at 312 and US 1. It's the only Moe's in the country serving breakfast burritos. Full breakfast menu only at the St. Augustine location. Made to order food in the drive-thru. Hot, fresh breakfast on the go. Make it a better morning with Moe's Southwest Grill. Start your days with the home wrecker breakfast burrito. St. Augustine location only, served daily at 6 a.m. Moe's is ready to serve you breakfast. Make it a better morning with Moe's.
Have you wanted to speak a new language, but thought it would be too difficult? Then try Babbel. Babbel starts by teaching you words and phrases that gradually get more complex. Soon, you're practicing short conversations. So in 15 minutes a day, you'll be speaking a new language in a few weeks. Babbel is built around real life. It teaches you practical conversations that you will actually use. Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free. Just go to Babbel.com today. That's BABBEL.com.
Hey everybody, this is Brent Martineau. Social distancing doesn't mean disconnecting. If you're working from home or just steering clear of coworkers, keep tabs on the world of sports and Action Sports Jax on your smart speaker. Tell your Amazon Echo or Google Home to play ESPN 690.
I think there's a great difference between motivation and inspiration, and motivation is unsustainable, not for long. Inspiration is, and there's 2 elements of inspiration. That's love and ownership. And when people own things, my experiences are you're really good. It means it's yours. You know, we want people, including, you know, I think everybody that steps foot in this facility that works here, they need to own this. They need to own the Jaguar emblem. If they don't, they need to leave. And it's the same approach we're going to take with our players. You know, this is not a one-stop. We're going to rent the place for a few months and move on, because that doesn't go well. So the sense of ownership is, I expect Trevor to own the Jaguars. What's that mean? It's theirs. Take great pride in what this organization will stand for as we move forward. So that's what it means. And that's from our video staff to coaching staff to players. Everybody's going to own this.
Well, it took a few months, but we figured it out for Urban Meyer.
Yeah.
It's hashtag own it. It's Duval and the 904.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie. That press conference, when he said that, I was like, okay, let's delete every bad thing I said about this organization because I don't want it to come across bad as Urban Meyer and that I can't be here anymore. Because he made it sound like if you're, whether you're a player, whether you're an employee here, if you're not buying in, respecting the shield, respecting the Jaguars logo, you're gone.
And Trevor Lawrence, by the way, sooner or later might be able to own it.
Yeah.
Because all these endorsement deals plus a $34.5 million rookie contract that he is about to get as the quarterback of the Jacksonville Jaguars. He is going to make a ton of money in his career, isn't he?
I feel bad for the comma button on his accountant's computer because you're hitting that button a lot. You know, it's going to the point where it's going to wear out. Yeah, I think the sky's the limit for Trevor Lawrence. What I like about it, though, is he doesn't seem too intertwined with all the endorsements and things like that, right? Like you hire people for that, obviously, and most of the times that's the case. But you get the sense with Trevor Lawrence, he's only focused on one thing, and that's getting better, getting accustomed to living in Jacksonville, being a Jaguar, moving on.
But he's cooler in that department as well. He's a small town kid. Small town guys don't seemingly have like that cool marketing flair to them.
No.
Do they?
Look at me,
I
Brent.
mean-
How many endorsements do I have right now? Zero endorsements would be the answer for that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I have a flair for that, absolutely.
I mean, I have a few more. Rhode Island guy,
Back to back Brent Martineau's during the commercial breaks. Hope you guys enjoy it. I know I do.
As you should.
Yeah,
Let's
all the
get to
time.
Steven
I
right
love
now.
it.
Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690. What's happening, man? Hope you enjoyed the draft last night.
Oh, hey guys, how you doing?
Good. What you got?
Well, I got a question, and sorry, I had to pick up the phone. I put it down for a second. But no, I have a question about the draft with Etienne. Like, all the social media and everything, everybody was kind of disappointed, or I guess in a way maybe a little bit angry, just given the fact that, you know, James Robinson, with all the work he put in last year, to think maybe he might be replaced or whatever. But after some time thinking about it, a lot of people made the comparison to Mark Ingram, Alvin Kamara, or even a Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt. I mean, do you guys really think they might go around with that direction, kind of switching in and out to not make James just, you know, a workhorse like he was last year?
Yeah, thanks, Steve. Appreciate the call, man.
Go ahead.
I listen. I like everybody talking about that as well. I don't understand. I don't think as many people were angry about it as kind of some of Twitter says. I was here. I thought it was pretty well received here. I think you can find people like, why did they do that? But I don't know if they're angry about it. I think you can make some sense with it. Again, I think it's not just a running back. This isn't a backfield guy only. This is a guy who's going to definitely complement James Robinson. This is not a knock and indictment against James Robinson. I think they still love James Robinson. I just think this is a different style, and this backfield needed a different style.
It did need a different style, but at the same time, like when I watched that pick, you know, come through the pipeline, I was a little disappointed because I went back to the adjective of luxury. Like, to me, Travis Etienne, that was a luxury pick because, once again, you had James Robinson already. And when we talk in terms of luxury, well, the last luxury pick that I can think of was Taven Bryan. And we know how that all worked out. Now, completely different players, completely different positions, but it still echoed in my head a little bit. To answer Steven's question, we talked about it a little bit earlier on in the show. There definitely is an Alvin Kamara, Mark Ingram comparison, as there should be. But, like, you know, with Alvin Kamara, especially when he first started out, like, he was the true third down back. And that's what he brought to the table. Now, he could still run the ball, don't get it twisted, but he was used solely in the receiving game. I feel like with Etienne, like, yes, he's a receiving back and a third down back first and foremost, as Urban Meyer alluded to. But you get the sense that this guy can take on a workload. Now, I get it. He's got a lot of wear on those tires from college. He was asked to do a lot, but so is Derrick Henry, and Derrick Henry's thriving in the NFL. So I'm not worried about having, you know, the tread on the tires still. I just think that Etienne is a guy where I think the more carries you give him, the better he does. It's the question of, can they find the happy medium of giving James Robinson his carries and Travis Etienne his carries as well? Because what it comes down to, Brent, is you lucked out with James Robinson. Like, teams are always trying to find the next running back, and sometimes teams take him in the first round, and it is what it is. But you lucked out on an undrafted free agent out of Illinois State in James Robinson. Now you're going to parlay that luck with a first-round pick in Travis Etienne.
Yeah, and so luxury does come into play here a little bit. I think it's a numbers game. I think it's trying to get the advantage over the defense. And I think the more you look at offenses around the league, Kansas City is obviously the prime example. But Buffalo, what they've evolved into. Baltimore, when they were really good a couple of years ago. New Orleans over the years. And even adding the Taysom Hills and obviously the Camaras and some of the receivers that they had, and they wanted to go get more receivers. The Rams, I think they use the Rams as an example because I do think they have a lot of different style guys that go into the mix, but they don't necessarily lean on one all the time, especially as Gurley started to decline. I look at those kind of teams, and now you look at Atlanta. They have Kyle Pitts. If they keep Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley, you know, and Matt Ryan. I mean, so you look at these teams that just keep accumulating offensive talent, and it feels less like we need one playmaker and more like let's spread the ball around so we can create matchups, essentially. If we have all these guys, you can't defend them all. So if we pick the right read, the right play at the right time, we're winning the play because you just can't defend it. We have out-leveraged you, basically.
You're not wrong there. And you know what? This is the league of offense now. That's where we're at, and I accept that. At the same time, though, I'm going to say this. Are the Jaguars close to a Super Bowl? Not even close quite yet. It's going to take some time. It's going to take some rebuilding. The high-powered offense, that will get you to the dance. And by the dance, I mean the playoffs. Now, to actually win games, win meaningful games, in January, February, whatever the case may be, and to go to a Super Bowl, that's where that defense comes into play. We see it every single year.
Why is it raining? The sun
I have no
is
idea.
out. What is going on, Mike Burish?
This is
like,
and the sprinklers are on too.
Sprinklers are on
because Shad Khan doesn't care.
Is that really the sprinklers? They're just bouncing back.
It might be the sprinklers, man. But hey, you better believe it. Hey, when you can afford Sting to come to AEW, you can afford sprinklers on your field even when it's raining.
Honestly,
I love the flex.
Honestly, it's so nice out and it's been so warm out. I kind of like it.
Sprinklers going crazy right now. It's pouring rain outside.
Believe me, I've already swept through
news.
the suits and the shirts and already stink. I don't care. It's like a shower. It's beautiful, like a real one.
Oh man.
Hey, when we come back, my interview with Trevor Lawrence earlier today. We'll play that, what he had to say, more on Trevor, more on the Jags tonight, more on what's going to go down in the NFL draft tonight. It's going to be a busy weekend, but a fun one around here in Jacksonville. Football at 5, coming up, Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
HBI, a national leader for career training in the building industry, is providing training, certification, and placement in the construction industry for veterans, their spouses, and children that are over the age of 18 at no cost. The following 2021 class dates are being offered: January 11th, February 16th, March 15th, April 12th, May 10th, June 7th. For more program and class details, please call Joe Jones at 407-717-7609 or visit the website at hbi.org.
CGC Water has been telling you if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Still not a believer? Well, you can believe me. My family has been a happy CGC Water customer for 4 years now. Customer service is tremendous. We got our water tested. We were told about our options and financing in detail. No pressure, just information. Installation was quick, and the CGC team was there every step of the way. And we absolutely love it because it works. Heck, I even think my coffee tastes better because of it. And I love my coffee. A Connecticut system from CGC Water removes up to 99% of contaminants. That's clean. Schedule your free water test today and ask how you can save up to $500. CGC is still taking extra precautions with in-home visits and continuing to follow CDC guidelines. Financing available with approved credit. Call 904-552-1242 for details or visit cgcwater.com. Serving Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia. CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Connecticut dealer. There is a taste of the islands in every drop of Vida de Luis tequila, imported directly from Tequila, Mexico to Jacksonville Beach. Vida de Luis is the only locally owned tequila in Jax Beach. Support local and try Vida de Luis. Award-winning, smooth, all natural, no aldehydes or additives, which means wake up feeling good the next morning. Find out where you can pick up a bottle of Vida de Luis, Blanco, Reposado, or Añejo. Just visit VitaDeLuis.com. Support local
and taste the islands in every drop. It is the home of the Action Sports Jax Dream 18, and make it your home course as well. The golf club at Southampton in North St. Johns County, located off County Road 210. It's family owned and operated. Southampton is a fun course to play, and the golf club at Southampton offers club membership programs starting at just $79. With its elite practice facilities and player-friendly golf course design, it'll be your gateway to a great time with the family or with your buddies. For information on the membership programs, call the golf club at Southampton, 904-287-PLAY. Again, it's 904-287-PLAY.
Goodyear knows the importance of keeping momentum as you head down the stretch. Momentum starts with movement. It's pulled from the air like a contested rebound. Momentum builds with steals and fast breaks, and is proven by deep threes as the shot clock expires. Momentum is how we change the game, and now it's time to discover where it can take us. Goodyear, more driven. It's time for some straight talk. Sure, saving money feels good, but cutting your wireless bill in half, that feels really good. Like walk-off home run in the 9th inning kind of good. Okay, maybe not that good, but pretty darn good. With Straight Talk, you can get 25 gigs of high-speed data for $45 a month, up to 50% less than the other guys. Plus, no contract. All on America's best networks. Why pay a whole lot when you could pay half? Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
Rounds of the NFL Draft coming up tonight. In round 1, the Bears traded up 9 spots to get quarterback Justin Fields. ESPN's Mike Tannenbaum says Chicago could be the best team in the NFC North.
It's amazing what 24 hours can do in the NFL, so I think he's a good player. I think he's way better than Foles or Dalton. I think it's not going to take very long for him to surpass those guys, and I would fully expect him to be the starter real soon.
Mike Tannenbaum on Bart and Hahn. Day 2 draft coverage starts at 6 Eastern on ESPN TV, radio, and the app, 7 Eastern on ABC. MLB announces 9 teams have now reached at least 85% of players and coaches vaccinated, allowing those unidentified teams to relax some of the health and safety protocols. And Meyer Metcalf reports Rasheer Bolton will transfer to Gonzaga.
Do you own or rent your home? Sure you do. Fortunately, Geico makes it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. It's a good thing, too, because having a home is hard work. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you could save. Geico.com. Easy.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
This time I got it right, okay?
Are you sure? What makes you so sure?
I talked about the process here seriously over the last few months. How things have been approached. And, you know, for me, it's like as an owner, you're sitting on that knife edge of micromanagement and abdication. How do you strike that balance? And, you know, learning from experience, but starting off, I mean, we have the opportunity to go with winners and then let them build.
Jaguars owner Shad Khan. Yeah, I mean, from the owner's perspective, obviously 25, you had some decisions to make, but there's got to be nothing more refreshing when we're talking about, you know, by the end of the college football season and then obviously by the end of the NFL season, and you're just chilling there knowing that Trevor Lawrence is coming to your team. I mean, talk about made in the shade, to say the least. So, Action Sports Jax, ESPN 690, Austin Lane. Joined by myself right now, Brent Martineau doing something on the TV side real quick, and we had to get out of the rain because it was coming down, and yes, the sprinklers are still on because Shad Khan's got that money to flex it, and I appreciate it. I am not mad at it. But speaking of my co-host Brent here, he actually caught up with the one and only Trevor Lawrence today real quick, as he was walking in the stadium for that first time. And, Kuz, I think we have some of that audio here we can play of Brent's interaction for the first time face-to-face with Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, absolutely a big day here in Jacksonville. Of course, Trevor Lawrence just arrived and greeted some kids in the third grade from Long Branch Elementary. That was cool. In fact, I heard Trevor Lawrence say that was very cool. Yeah. What a day here in Jacksonville, Florida. What a day for the city, for the franchise. But I can only imagine it's been a heck of a 24 hours for you and your family. Yeah. Has it sunk in yet?
Yeah, I mean, especially just getting here, it feels so real, and I mean, that was awesome. The third graders here to greet us, and just everyone's so excited, including us. So, couldn't think of a better community to be joining for sure.
I feel like I should at least say hello. I'm Brent Martineau. Never met you before. Good to meet you, but we're live on TV for it. Does this moment make you think of the whole journey and all the people that helped you? Does it run through the gamut of emotions from Clemson to Cartersville?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's been a long journey to get here, and last night was super just surreal to have family and friends around me that have been a part of it for years now, and just a super cool moment. And then, now being only like a few hours from my hometown and from Clemson, it's just really cool to see how everything worked out. And like I said, we're so excited to join the community and get to work.
I saw a jet fly over the stadium. Did you guys make that trip?
Yeah. So we saw in the stadium, we saw my name on the screen and all of that. So super cool. Super excited to be here in Duval.
Last one for you. Obviously, there's a lot of hope with you, but with Urban Meyer as well. Travis Etienne, your teammate, gets picked late last night. Got a lot more picks.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
What do you think about what you see on paper of this offense? Urban Meyer, Darrell Bevel, Brian Schottenheimer. What can this offense potentially do with maybe you in command?
I mean, obviously haven't met any of the guys, the coaches really in person yet, so excited to do that first of all and get to work. But I think this is a good team. So a lot of expectations obviously moving forward, and we're just going to take it day by day and go to work and be the best we can be. But I know that I'm going to do everything in my power to be ready and prepared to do as well as we can on the field. So,
welcome to Duval, Trevor Lawrence.
Hey, thank you, man. Thank you, guys.
That is Trevor Lawrence, calm, cool, collected. I mean, for me personally, it's really cool that Brent finally got – I mean, it's been a long time coming, to say the least, right? Brent goes to his hometown, talks to the mayor, all that stuff of Cartersville, Georgia. Brent goes to the pro day. Unfortunately, couldn't get in. And it's cool to finally see that first interaction. Obviously, it's been a long time coming. And let's be honest, we've talked about this guy a lot. He's been really what we started the show with now, it seems like, for the past 3 or 4 months. So the fact that Trevor Lawrence now, he's making those connections. He's meeting everybody in person, shaking hands. Well, maybe doing fist bumps. Not sure how all the protocols are being handled. But the fact that he can come in here and now finally start to put some faces to the names, it's a really cool thing. And once again, he's doing it all while being himself, being calm, cool, collected, and getting ready to play some football. Speaking of football, and we'll transfer to the Miami Dolphins, which I assume, because we got South Beach Gary on the line right now. South Beach Gary, how we doing, man?
Hey, guys. Well, first of all, actually, I wanted to touch on the Jags. I remember, guys, I did tell you Etienne at 25 or 33.
Yeah.
And I proved once again to be correct.
Well, congratulations. Don't hurt your wrist from patting yourself on the back too hard. But, yeah, if you called it, you called it. I think at 33 we all knew that, well, at least I figured that the Buffalo Bills, like DTN there, they're in need of definitely a dynamic running back. They got Singletary, but they also got Zach Moss. But I'm not sure how comfortable they are with Zach Moss going forward. So, yeah, it made a lot of sense.
Right. And the reason that, Austin, that Chris Greer went with Waddle over was the return game. He said because of Waddle so excellent in the return game, that was the deciding factor. In fact, they said Waddle was number 2 on their big board.
Yeah, I mean, it goes to show you and thanks for calling South Beach, Gary. It goes to show you exactly where the NFL is going, right? I mean, if you want to make that Tyreek Hill comparison, I think Waddle fit that mold the best. I think he's a guy that you can put in the slot. You can put a lot of places. It's very dynamic, and obviously Miami, they definitely felt that. At the same time, though, we got to remember, I mean, they also got another guy, on the defensive side of the ball, which is obviously what they're kind of known for lately. and that's Jalen Phillips. And Jalen Phillips right now coming to the NFL is the most polished pass rusher by far. Now, once again, he falls a little bit, but that's due to back concerns and his back injuries. But when you think about it, with that defense to add another solid pass rusher, assuming he can stay healthy, I'll be honest, and I don't like to give him a lot of credit, I think the Miami Dolphins did pretty well last night.
Yeah, I think they did do pretty well, and they're building that team. Listen, Florida isn't a bad place to be in the NFL anymore.
It's not.
Now, it's going to come down to Tua.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh,
and here it's going to come down to Trevor.
As it should.
And eventually in Tampa, it's going to come down to how can they rebuild that thing once everybody kind of ends up in the old folks' home.
Yeah, but being Tom Brady, I'm sure they got to get another 10 years left before we talk about that conversation.
So,
yeah.
I mean, but it's kind of nice, right? I was talking to actually some of the NFL Network folks today. I was like, hey, you guys going to be hanging out here more? Because not just in Jacksonville, but the state of Florida is relevant.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is. For the first time, to have all three teams somewhat relevant. And, again, we don't know how good Jacksonville is.
Sure.
We don't know how good Miami can sustain.
But they're relevant, though, in Jacksonville.
But I
right
think
now.
relevant with Tua, with Trevor, and obviously Tampa's super relevant because they just won the Super Bowl. So I think all those things are nice. Again, people like that stuff. It makes it's better than the alternative. And around here, and I can find a lot of teams that are really relevant right now and up and coming, and you could make the case for around the NFL. And now we'll just see. They're not gonna all win.
Yeah.
It's not going to work out for everybody. We know that. We talked about that a couple weeks ago. We sit here and say, who's going to be the big wins, right? And who's going to where's this guy going to go and help this team? And he's going to be a star. And how big of a star will this quarterback? Well, we know that there are busts. I mean, there are busts, and some teams are going to be set back. We might like what Miami did, but if they don't hit on these first-round picks, they'll be in Jacksonville territory after all this draft capital.
And it's funny that you talk about the term being relevant, right? Because obviously right now, and obviously we're a little biased, but I feel like the Jacksonville Jaguars, they're relevant.
Yeah.
Like, people are talking about them. They're all over the NFL Network on ESPN. Like, the people are talking about the Jacksonville Jaguars right now. New York Jets, I think the same thing with Zach Wilson. Obviously, there's a story there as well. But my question is, to keep in mind, we got a long ways to go in the NFL draft. A lot of trades, a lot of transactions can happen. What teams do you feel like get bumped down now to irrelevancy, maybe a little bit? Due from the first round also, but also, going forward.
That's a good question. I think right now Philadelphia is in danger of irrelevancy.
Okay, wow.
I mean, look.
But keep in mind, they just drafted Devontae Smith, though, as well.
Yeah, they did, but they got do we know – they're riding with Jalen Hurts off like a 4-game, 5-game sample. I think that's dangerous.
Sure.
I think that's a possibility. I think if Carolina doesn't get it right with whatever they're trying to do, and if Christian McCaffrey can't be as dynamic as he's been, and they don't utilize him right, or they don't figure it out with Matt Rule here this year coming up, or maybe even it's another year, I think they could fall in that trap. So, I mean, the Jets have been irrelevant. Could they be on the rise? But so they don't fit that bill because they're trying to get back up and ride the elevator up. New England still is a little bit of this, although everybody's always going to be curiosity based on the dynastic nature of the New England Patriots and Belichick.
Yeah.
That they'll always have a relevance to them, even if they stink and the fall from grace. But they really risked a lot.
Yeah.
They did it totally different than they've ever done it. You said that with Sal Pell last week. They spent a ton of money. Now they're Cam Newton again. Now they're Mac Jones. There's a lot of risk in the Patriots' portfolio, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And therefore, it might not be this year, but it could be this downturn in New England for a little bit.
If I'm looking at the team right now, and once again, keep in mind there's still a lot of draft left, but after last night, the team that could really go down, and with all due respect to their fan base and everything like that, and it's a great state, but the Denver Broncos, I felt like last night did themselves a giant disservice. Yes, there are some needs on that team, but the biggest need is they have to score points. And last night showed when you had a chance at a quarterback, you opted for your guy, by the way, Patrick Surtain.
Yep.
It shows that they're going to roll a Drew Lock and see what he has, but I have a feeling like they haven't put up points last year. Will they put up points this year? I feel like not taking a quarterback here could be the death sentence this year for the Denver Broncos, and no one could be really talking about him going forward.
Well, in full disclosure, I've been all over the Trevor story today and haven't checked as much on social media.
Yeah.
Where are we on the Aaron Rodgers front?
Well, and that's the one argument, right? Maybe Denver knows something that we don't. Maybe they feel like they have actually a shot to land Aaron Rodgers. That's one of the destinations, I guess, supposedly that Sports Illustrated was reporting that Aaron Rodgers want to go to. As far as I know right now, it's more of the same, right? He's not happy. I think the GM has done like 10 interviews, and each time he's made it a habit of saying, Aaron Rodgers is our guy, Aaron Rodgers is our guy. But, obviously I've talked to a bunch of people last night back home, and they are nervous to say the least.
Yeah, so is Aaron Rodgers on the Packers in September? I think I could actually let's do this two parts. Is
Yes.
Aaron Rodgers on the Packers by the end of the weekend?
Yes, I think he's on the Packers by the end of the
Wouldn't this be
weekend.
the time to trade, like right now, like today?
Yeah, I feel like the Packers are still in win-now mode. All right, back-to-back NFC Championship appearances. You're going to get rid of that guy and go on a guy in Jordan Love who you haven't seen throw a ball yet in a meaningful game? You're going to risk that much with the team that you have right now after paying Aaron Jones his money, after having Devontae Adams, Robert Tonyan? I think it would be stupid on the Packers' part to let Aaron Rodgers go, and I don't care what it would cost them. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to take the snap game one for the Green Bay Packers.
Okay, so I did ask September as well. But, the Packers are interesting because they drafted Jordan Love. They don't necessarily – they could wait a little bit in the draft process because they don't necessarily need to go draft the quarterback. They already did it. Mm-hmm. And so that's what makes them a little bit different. Everybody else, we talk about this like, hey, if you get rid of Jared Goff, if you get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo, if you get rid of Matthew Stafford, if you want to move on from Matt Ryan and you get out from underneath that deal, well, if you did all that, you had to then go get a quarterback. Those teams didn't have them. Well, Green Bay does. So Green Bay has a little flexibility on the timing of anything they want to do. But it is interesting to hear the GM say he's not going anywhere. I don't know what this is. I don't know. We talked about it yesterday.
Yeah.
I still believe this is just kind of – it's like, hey, it was really interesting that comes out yesterday. The Tebow story comes out yesterday. Is there something to all of that, why it came out on draft day? Anything more than just – hey, this is good marketing. All eyes on the NFL right now. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, I know, and it very well could be. Obviously, I shared my Pat McAfee conspiracy yesterday. I think the reports coming out are saying that Aaron Rodgers is most frustrated with the whole Jordan Love situation.
Yeah,
where
still
bitter about it, and it's so ironic because Aaron Rodgers went through the same thing himself with Brett Favre when Brett Favre was still in Green Bay, and they go after the guy by the name of Aaron Rodgers. So like he lived through it for both sides now. So how he can't see the other side, man, I don't know about it. But I think it stems more from just the Jordan Love situation. I think it stems from the whole mentality of that draft year. Because they get a guy like A.J. Dillon, who was supposed to be the predecessor, essentially, to Aaron Jones. What do the Packers do? They re-sign Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones is back now. So A.J. Dillon will be on the bench, maybe getting 10 reps a game, and you use the second-round pick on him. You use the third-round pick on an H-back/tight end who I haven't seen play a meaningful game yet. Because why? You got Robert Tonyan. And then what else do? You re-sign Mercedes Lewis, who, with all due respect to Mercedes, is, 38, 39 years old, it seems like. Still doing the damn thing, still playing good football. It seems like the whole goal of that draft, Brent, was to plan for the future. And you're planning for the future after you just came back from San Francisco losing that game, but obviously you're one game away. Then what happens this year? You're one game away again. Tampa Bay has your number. It is what it is. It's like this team shifted from planning for the future to be like, oh, that's right, we have Aaron Rodgers. Let's win right now. And Aaron Rodgers isn't here for that.
Let's check out the fishing report right now and bring in Rick Riles. Rick Riles, it's over, man. Trevor Lawrence is here. No doubt about it. It's official now.
I got a question, Brent. I can remember the night that it was announced we were getting the team. I can remember driving all over town, finally finding somebody with a Jaguars T-shirt, a jersey I could buy. It was so defective. It fit horrible. Nobody cared. Is this the most exciting offseason since then?
Well, I would imagine yes, and I wasn't there for that. I've been here 13 years, and I got to believe. Now, we have recency bias, Rick, but the combination of the jubilation of going 1-15, which is weird, right, because the Jets overtook us and now here in Jacksonville, and then you get the number one pick. So the combination of that, knowing Trevor's out there, the hiring of Urban Meyer, yeah, I think it would be certainly up there and probably, if not the most interesting offseason, right next to the one you just referenced.
Yeah, I wonder how much worse would we have felt if we'd have gone 3-13. It's hard to imagine that would be worse, but it really would, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it really would. No doubt. I mean, hey, there's a rule in the NFL, or an old saying in the NFL, that being 7-9 and 6-10 isn't going to solve many problems. You'd rather lose big or win big in the NFL, because if you lose big, you can get better faster than you can if you're 5-11 every year.
Yeah, that's true. And I tell you what, I hope our blue water trolling gets better. Easter rally earlier this week, but unfortunately over the last 2 days, it has kind of petered out. Just trolling from Mahi today, very slow. No sign of more blue marlin that seemed to be popping up earlier in the week. So I'm not real sure what happened. I hope it's only a momentary lull in the action. Not a lot going on with the cobia front. Roger Walker, one of the best cobia fishermen around, was at it all day today, and he said sharks, sharks, and more sharks. I tell you, if you want to take a kid fishing and have a good time, the shrimp boats that are dragging off of the beach right now are being followed by hundreds of sharks waiting for them to shovel their bycatch overboard, and you can catch all you want, and they jump, and they're big, and they're pretty, and there's an awful lot of people having fun with them. No sign of the Spanish mackerel. They were here, and now they seem to have given us the slip. So there wasn't a whole lot going on today offshore. Inshore was a little tougher than it has been, although Captain David Voorhees said he did scrape out a nice day that included a 4-pound flounder and had some legal reds and some pretty trout in them. So inshore was better than offshore, and it's kind of the way it looks for the weekend. I don't really like the forecast for the next 2 days. We're going to have some pretty strong westerly winds that's going to kick up a sea. And the problem with the west is we call it a sucker wind because you're going with it going out, so you tend to keep going, and then all of a sudden you realize you got to turn around and go back home in the afternoon, and sometimes it's a long ride. But we'll be back to talk about it all on Monday, Brent, with another fishing report brought to you by Workman's Quick Fix Plumbing.
Rick, have a great weekend, man. We'll be listening in the morning, 7 a.m. on ESPN 690. That's Rick Rouse with the Florida Sportsman Fishing Report each and every day, 5:15 here on Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Once again, 7 to 9 in the morning. Catch Rick.
Calling from the Starship Enterprise, it sounded like today. How many buttons were pushed in that whole conversation? My word.
What I wanted to know is what I was trying to see on the stream was Austin's face when he was talking about the Sharks.
Did you see? Oh, dude. Oh, yeah. I kind of lit up a little bit. I mean, as long as I'm not in the water and I'm on a yacht, I feel comfortable with that.
I'm glad you feel comfortable with that.
What? You want to go shark fishing sometime? Let's go.
Shark fishing would be fun. I feel like every time I have gone fishing, which isn't a lot, we catch a little baby shark.
Yeah. Little baby shark?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I've never caught a shark. I mean, like, I went on a charter one time. Once again, a little stressful because of the ocean, obviously. But, dude, if there's sharks I can catch, I'm not taking the shark off the hook. Touching the shark.
Part of me thought Brent was trolling us and he was about to start singing the baby shark.
Nah. But if you want to do that, speaking of shark and chark, what do you make of DJ Chark up to like 210 pounds? We had him on the show last night. You can tell, man. I saw him down here on the field.
Yeah.
He's put on weight, and like I think in a good way. He says his speed's still there.
Well, I mean, he looks good. I mean, that's the most important. Is he passed the eye test, and it looks like good weight. I think that goes to show you the hard work that's being put in right now. You know, I think that, you know, with DJ Chark last year, it was a frustrating season for him. Now, not all that falls on him, obviously, but you're only as good as your quarterback allows you to be. You got Trevor Lawrence coming in now. You got to be in tip-top shape, and it appears that DJ Chark is doing that.
Let me ask you this about it. Did DJ Chark need to put on weight? Like, I didn't necessarily say, hey, DJ, you better go put on weight so you're going to be a better player. Or did Urban Meyer come in here and say, hey, we think this might be best for you to put on weight? Like, where did that come from?
No, that's a good call. I mean, I think, listen, to me it comes down to the player most importantly. Like, if you feel comfortable putting on weight, then put on weight. But, like, if the player can't hold it, because everyone's body type is different, if you can't hold it or it feels uncomfortable, you feel slower, then don't do it. Maybe DJ Chark was a little banged up during the season. Maybe he was taking too many shots. Maybe he felt like, hey, you know what? I got to put on some more muscle here to help maintain myself through the entire season. Maybe DJ Chark had a meeting with, you know, one of the specialists here in the weight room. They kind of talked it out a little bit. Or maybe Urban Meyer said, hey, put on some more muscle. You look good. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's more of DJ Chark interacting with, like, the strength staff more than anything.
The narrative around here, by the way, around DJ Chark putting on a little weight was that's an example of the strength sports and science program of Urban Meyer already working.
Sure.
Like, that's been the narrative. And so that's not like, hey, he went and did this on his own, went trading in Wyoming or wherever else and came back and look, hey, surprise.
Yeah.
That was actually like a product of what's already been in place or with conversations of, hey, maybe you should do this. So, again, we don't know all the details of that.
Yeah.
But that's kind of an example. And guys are bought in. I talked to somebody else here yesterday during the draft specials and the draft party, and they said you can really see the difference right away on the emphasis of that. And we can feel it on the outside, right? Urban Meyer talks about it, talk about facilities. But inside, I said, yeah, it's really noticeable, and the guys are buying into it. Again, there's a lot of players here that don't need to be here this time of year, but they're bought into it right now. So interesting to see. And from a guy who's gone to a Pro Bowl, DJ Chark looks it. He doesn't have to talk it. He now looks it. How much influence Urban Meyer had on that? How much influence was his own camp and just him deciding to do it? We don't really know.
No, we don't know. Usually, though, in the locker rooms that I've been in, coaches only have the influence of if it's something drastic like a weight, like if he has to lose weight, then a coach will take initiative and say, hey, you got to lose this weight right now. I'm going to fine you. And like in instance like Eugene Monroe, when he lost all that weight during training camp, well, Jack Del Rio was the first guy to say, hey, you better put some weight back on there, Eugene. I think with Urban Meyer's case, I think he's going to defer to his guys, the specialists. He trusts them. I think it was a conversation between DJ Chark and the strength specialist.
I love DJ Chark. I'm a big fan of DJ Chark.
Yeah.
Is he the biggest winner from last night? I mean, he gets himself a quarterback. A quarterback, by the way, that's supposed to make the players around him better. That's how elite he is. That's how good he is. DJ Chark's already pretty good, but he's had the up-and-down ride of quarterbacks. We had him on the show last night.
Yeah.
He's played for 6 different quarterbacks in 3 years, man. Is he the biggest winner of last night for this football team to find some consistency? And by the way, contract year, upcoming big contract with what receivers are being paid.
Yes.
I think you can make the case DJ Chark was a mega winner last night.
Especially where he's coming from last season with the disappointment, right? Like we've seen how good DJ Chark can be. We've seen the Pro Bowl DJ Chark. He took a step back last year, like you said, entering a contract year where receivers can make some pretty good money. I agree with you. I think DJ Chark benefited the most last night.
Hey, they're happy around here in Jacksonville. It's Friday. It's happy hour time. We're going into a weekend that's going to be fun in the River City.
Let's go.
It's hot. Let's hit the happy hour horn.
The good vibes. Taste the islands and every drop of Vida de Luis tequila. 100% blue agave from Tequila, Mexico. Good vibes. It's a celebration.
VitaDeLuis.com, the place to go where you can find a bottle of Vida de Luis tequila, locally owned Jacksonville Beach. From Tequila, Mexico to Jacksonville Beach. Check it out, VitaDeLuis.com. Blanco, Reposado, and Yeho. Get yourself a bottle of Vida de Luis. Happy hour time is here. The weekend's almost here. The draft day 2 is almost here. What's going to happen tonight? We try to predict what the Jags will do and some of the big things that could happen around the NFL on day 2 of the draft, round 2 and 3, here on a Friday night. And you can listen right here on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert Forecast on ESPN 690.
A brief shower or storm in a couple of spots early this evening. Otherwise, clearing skies tonight, dropping into the lower 60s. It'll be partly sunny, cooler and less humid tomorrow. Your Saturday high in the upper 70s to around 80 degrees. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm Action News Jax Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds, where you get the lowest diamond price guaranteed or your money back.
They just don't make them like they used to.
People say that a lot, and sometimes it's true, but not for air conditioners. Manufacturers actually make them better than they used to. It's just that local AC companies don't install them like they ought to. Old school rules of thumb and yesterday's shortcuts simply sabotage new school systems. Can new technology give you more comfort with longer service life? Only if the AC tech knows how to properly engineer it for your home and how to install it right. So techs that don't understand inverters, low voltage controls, and how to configure the software, dip switches, and refrigerant charge for Florida humidity, they'll totally turn it into turd buckets, especially if they just do a swap the box install without fixing your ductwork and airflow. My point, the better the technology, the more important the install. At Griffith Service, we fix what others can't, but it's best to have us install it right from the beginning. So if your new system ain't working right or your old one needs replacing, call
GriffinService.com.
1250-697.
Hi, I'm here reporting from one of the vaccine locations, and we're asking people today why they decided to get vaccinated. Sir, why are you getting the vaccine?
Why am I getting the vaccine? Because I want to go to a concert with my friends in a full arena.
The COVID vaccine is a safe and proven way to get our lives back to normal. This is why the Florida Division of Emergency Management partnered with local community leaders to create Vax904.com. Visit Vax904.com or call 357-0892 to get more information.
CGC Water has been telling you if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Still not a believer? Well, you can believe me. My family has been a happy CGC water customer for 4 years now. Customer service is tremendous. We got our water tested. We were told about our options in financing in detail. No pressure, just information. Installation was quick, and the CGC team was there every step of the way. And we absolutely love it because it works. Heck, I even think my coffee tastes better because of it. And I love my coffee. A Connecticut system from CGC Water removes up to 99% of contaminants. That's clean. Schedule your free water test today and ask how you can save up to $500. CGC is still taking extra precautions with in-home visits and continuing to follow CDC guidelines. Financing available with approved credit. Call 904-552-1242 for details or visit cgcwater.com. Serving Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia. CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Connecticut dealer. Smoothie King is blending goodness to fuel your greatness. They make sure every blend is crafted to help you achieve your health and fitness goals. Smoothie King uses whole fruits and only organic veggies. You'll never find any sugary syrups or artificial flavors, colors, or preservatives in the smoothies. And unlike some other smoothie places, there are 0 grams of added sugar in many of the blends. Skip the line and place your order online now at smoothieking.com for contactless pickup or delivery. Smoothie King, rule the day.
You've been wanting a new ride, right? But you can't find what you're looking for? Well, check out my friends over at Arlington Toyota. They have over 400 pre-owned cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs to choose from. Worried about your credit? Well, don't be, because with Arlington's Credit for Everyone program, if your Beacon score is from 450 to 850, Arlington's getting almost everyone approved. And when it comes to total peace of mind, Arlington's got you covered with their 30-day exchange policy. Shop in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com.
What defines a hero? Dedication, loyalty, courage. Every day at AMCO, we serve heroes. For over 60 years, we've repaired and maintained the most critical public service vehicles. From complex transmissions to simple brake jobs with flexible financing and the extra safety precautions we need. The heroes we serve don't all wear uniforms. They're people like you. At AMCO, we're proud to serve all of you. AA MCO.
Money tight? We can finance almost anybody. Find the AMCO transmissions nearest you at amcojacksonville.com.
Texting enrolls you into reoccurring automated text messages. Message and data rates may apply.
Come on, one more rep. You got this. 10. There it is. Nice work, man. You're a beast.
Thanks, man. I feel better than I have in years. And I got to tell you, taking Nugenix makes a huge difference for me.
Nugenix? That's the testosterone booster with TV ads with Frank Thomas. The big hurt, right?
Oh, yeah. This is a legit product. The key ingredient is Testofen, which helps boost free testosterone levels and increase lean muscle mass.
Well, it's clearly working for you. Hey, are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, Nugenix is a great way to increase lean muscle and feel stronger with more energy and endurance.
Man, I need to get a complimentary bottle of Nugenix.
No problem. You just got to send them a text. Text BEACH to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix, the #1 selling free testosterone booster at GNC. Nugenix samples are not available in stores, so text BEACH to 321-321 right now. Text BEACH to 321-321. Text BEACH to 321-321.
It's been 6 months since my wife leased her new Cadillac from Fields Auto Group, and she absolutely loves it. It's our first experience with Fields, and it's been terrific. They say you can step up to luxury for less, and we did. Not just a luxury Cadillac XT6. The car is beautiful, but the customer service is extra special too. It was like that at Fields Cadillac Jacksonville, and it will be like that at any of the Fields locations in Jacksonville. Cadillac, of course, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche as well. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. We are now part of that Fields Amenities program, and my wife tried the loaner program. It was easy and a nice added benefit. So whatever you're driving, see Fields and step up to luxury for less. Check out their locations all around Jacksonville, just like we did. You can go visit fieldsauto.com.
The Jacksonville Auto Show is back. Celebrate one of the First Coast's premier events, May 7th through 9th at the Prime Osborne Convention Center. Check out the hottest 2021 models, ride and drives, classics and exotics, and even historic military vehicles. Everything sanitized in a safe and clean environment. The Auto Show Mother's Day weekend, May 7th through 9th. Free parking from 5-Star Credit Union. Discount coupons at gate gas stations. Tickets available only online at jacksautoshow.com.
I'm Action News Jax First Alert meteorologist Garrett Biedenball. Weather here is unique. It can be bright and sunny one minute and then a downpour the next. That's why mornings are when you need us the most. So you can plan your day, no matter if you're getting ready to go to work or working from your living room, getting the kids ready for school, or ready for lunchtime. I'm on TV explaining how weather is going to affect your day and night ahead, so you're prepared for anything. I'll get you ready on Action News Jax this morning.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin Lane from Action Sports Jax and ESPN 690. Social distancing doesn't mean disconnecting. If you're working from home, keep tabs on the world of sports and Action Sports Jax on your smart speaker. Tell your Amazon Echo or Google Home, play ESPN 690.
Austin Lane.
I had braces. I still have my permanent retainer in. It's been knocked out twice.
Brent Martineau.
So it's not stuck in there. No, it's not stuck in there.
Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
I mean, I feel like it provides you with a sense of normalcy, having Trev here. I've just been here in the past 3 years, but I feel as if I was with or without Trev, I would be making plays. That's kind of what we're here to do, and I'm just thankful that I have Trev and we're on the same team. We got to fight against each other.
That is Travis Etienne. Jaguars' 25th overall selection last night. Surprised some people. Surprised me. But I like it. I'm not surprised in a negative way. I like it. I will say I'm putting my trust here in Urban Meyer. I think Urban Meyer knows what to do with a guy like that. And by the way, as we say that, should Darrell Bevel as well and Brian Schottenheimer. It's a system that they're creating. But Urban Meyer's an offensive guy, and he's had a lot of success with dynamic playmakers. So how he utilizes the ones that are already on the roster to go along with Trevor Lawrence and now Travis Etienne, and if they add another one maybe tonight, we will see. But it's going to be fascinating to watch the kind of player. Do we get more surprises? Again, I go back to my conversation with Shad Khan on Wednesday.
He's not lying so far, is he?
And yeah, he said, hey, basically what he said to me is the group think might not be where you think it is. Mm-hmm. And with Etienne, there wasn't a lot of groupthink that the Jaguars were going to end up there. In fact, there's criticism across the country for taking a running back, and they haven't done it at a successful rate. And they just got undrafted rookie free agent James Robinson, had success. So is this the smartest move? I think those are fair questions. But I'm more now excited about how he'll be used in the offense. We can talk about whether it was the right move or not once the production either is there or is not. They made the pick. And so what can it do to the offense here in Jacksonville is really the next question.
Absolutely. And you know how I feel about it. I spoke my piece about it. But at the same time, I am excited to see what this offense will look like with him in it. Because, once again, I had nothing but respect for James Robinson. I think he should get a lot of credit for last season. He was probably the brightest spot of that team last year, and I feel like he should be respected as so. But once again, I talked about, that pick last night was essentially – saying goodbye to Jalen Ramsey, and what do you get for him? And it's not a bad thing to say if we see Travis Etienne in the end zone out of a reception or a rush or some kind of gadget play, scoring touchdowns, you will forget all about Jalen Ramsey. So for that, I am excited about.
Will Etienne help James Robinson? See, I think a lot of people ask the question when a running back gets picked, wait a minute, we love James. What are you doing? What's wrong with James Robinson? Nothing. Nothing's wrong with James Robinson. They asked him to have 93% of the carries and workload in the backfield last year.
Which you don't see in the NFL a lot.
We just talked about this. Yeah. The Jags were the alternative to where the NFL's going. There's 5, 6, 7 weapons on an offense now. The Jags had like 2. And most of them was James Robinson. So, they were the alternative. That's not the way the NFL's going.
Yeah.
I think Etienne actually helps James Robinson. Don't put that much of a load on him. Keep him fresher. Do some different things. And I love James Robinson. I think we all love James Robinson. Mm-hmm. I think we have to get through our head just because we saw a running back. That's not a knock. It's not an indictment on Robinson. I think, in fact, it could be a big-time helper to the career of James Robinson.
It could definitely be a help. At the same time, though, I see a guy who is a physical type of running back. And when you have a physical type of running back, it takes him maybe sometimes a couple plays to get going and find that rhythm. Derrick Henry is a classic example of this. In the first quarter, Derrick Henry may not be blowing your socks off in terms of fantasy production. But then you give him the fourth quarter, when he's got a good sweat going, he's carried the ball 20, 25, 30 times. Well, that's where he really punishes you a lot. That's what I hope, I guess, more than anything, Brent, that we talk about going forward. Etienne can be a punishing back as well, but not as much as James Robinson, I feel like. I hope the Jaguars don't lose that kind of physicality. that kind of smash mouth football. I know we're talking about speed and maybe a little finesse here or there and some gadgets and all that stuff. But I truly feel like you still have to have a little bit of a brand, a little bit of an identity as tough in the trenches. And in order to do that, you got to pound the rock. And James Robinson did a fantastic job of that last year.
Mark Long, who we've had on the show before, just said this, and this is really Urban Meyer telling ESPN as the pre-draft coverage just a few minutes ago, that someone who came off the board before pick number 25, quote, broke our heart. Given the Etienne pick plan, Meyer had to be talking about Kadarius Toney, right, is what Mark Long says.
Yeah.
Who broke the heart of the Jaguars before they picked Etienne?
I mean, I think the obvious one would be Kadarius Toney, right? We talked about it yesterday a little bit, where it's like if they were to trade up, being a Florida guy, would it be Kadarius Toney? That begs the question. Also, though, the more like I'm starting to go through these picks again, possibly a cornerback. Maybe they have that because listen, what are we talking about right now? We're talking about the cornerback position.
Newsome was after.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, I don't know.
Give me it was
looking right now.
Jalen Phillips went 18 to Miami.
Yes.
Washington takes. I don't know who Washington took. Who Washington? Darisaw goes to the Vikings at like 23. I'm telling you, I think this could be Kwity Paye. It could be. Would you buy that?
Get from Kwity Paye and the Joe Cullen-esque. Yeah, I can definitely see that. I don't know. There's a lot of ways you could go with this, Brent. I'll be honest with you, man. I'm going through the list right now. It could be Kwity Paye. I don't know how they felt really high about Caleb Farley. Like, Caleb Farley might have been the top corner if it wasn't for the injuries. Maybe they like Caleb Farley a lot. Kadarius Toney, obviously, like we said before. I mean, another guy, too. Jamin Davis, who seems to be flying up draft boards in terms of, once again, a linebacker. Like, is that really a good key for them right now? Probably not. I don't know. You can go a lot of ways with it. Maybe Zaven Collins. Who knows? Maybe they were infatuated with Zaven Collins. There's a lot of guys you could pick.
Yeah, pick one. Like, I don't think it's Kadarius Toney.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. But maybe because you could definitely think if you're the Jaguars that Toney could get there, right? Like, I thought he'd get to 25. I saw him at 20 and 18 and 19 and 22, and I was like, I don't know, man. I don't think he's going there. So maybe the Jags really thought, hey, we're going to go get a weapon on offense. We're going to go a playmaker on offense, and we think this guy's going to be there. And they kind of were surprised to see somebody jump up and get him. And that was the Giants, by the way.
If it's me, and you got to make me pick one guy, I like Kwity Paye, but I wonder, how he would transition to a 3-4 defense a little bit on the bigger side. Like, he's kind of like the Justin Houston clone, if you will. If you're going to ask me one guy who I think that they were sad to see go, I'm going to say Jalen Phillips. I'm going to say the polished pass rusher in this entire NFL draft. Yes, there is a back injury concern a little bit, but if that's not a big deal, he could be a special player. I think it's Jalen Phillips. I think Joe Cullen had his eyes on him.
Yeah, interesting. And you know what? I appreciate the comments from Urban Meyer, too, because most teams say, oh, yeah, we had Etienne, and we had him 14th on our board.
Yeah.
And we got him at 25. Great value, right? Every team does that. Like, They have to justify instead of saying, you know what, we kind of wish this guy or one or two players had landed to us, and they would have been right in the mix. And Urban Meyer's telling ESPN just a short time ago, apparently, that one player broke their heart.
Who do you think it was?
I think it was probably Kwity Paye because I think he was probably valued pretty high by some teams, and the fact that he started to slip in outside the top 20 then was like, whoa, value. You talk value, like Trent Baalke's probably like, whoa, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
But here's my question with all the draft capital. If some guy you really coveted was there around 18, 20, 21, why not just try to move up? Maybe they did. And they couldn't. Maybe they did. Hey, one more segment to go. We'll get you set for tonight. Remember, you can listen to the draft on ESPN 690. A lot of TV coverage as well on CBS 47 and Fox 30. What will they do? We got to make our predictions next on ESPN 690.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
Happy Friday. I'm Jake Mitchell. Last night in the NFL, the draft started its first night when Roger Goodell said the words that Jacksonville has been dreaming about ever since they found out the Jaguars had the #1 overall pick.
First pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Trevor Lawrence, quarterback, Clemson.
The top 3 draft picks were all quarterbacks this year, with Zach Wilson headed to the Jets at number 2 and Trey Lance going to the Niners with pick number 3. And come to find out, Trevor Lawrence wasn't the only Clemson Tiger taken in the first round, or even taken in the first round by the Jaguars. Running back Travis Etienne was selected by the Jaguars with the 25th pick in the first round. Rounds 2 and 3 are tonight with the Jags and pick number 33 at 7 p.m. and then concludes tomorrow with round 4 beginning at noon. The Sports Center Update is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Zubin Mahente.
Where do the Knicks have to finish to get into the mix for an A-list free agent, a Booker, or somebody else?
If they make the playoffs and they show trajectory heading in the right direction, man, it's nothing like playing in a city with energy.
I mean, they're doing everything right. They're trending in the right direction. You can't say they're not.
Keyshawn, Jay, Will, and Zubin. Weekday mornings at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio or streaming live on the ESPN app.
Need a good-paying job with a flexible work schedule and benefits? A1A Solar is looking for you. $70,000 is a reasonable first-year expectation. Seasoned reps can easily make 6 figures. Leads provided to you as well. Health, dental, 401k benefits. A1A Solar is a tremendous company, voted best places to work in Jacksonville, and in 2016 was the Veteran-Owned Business of the Year. Be a part of an awesome company at A1A Solar. Just go visit A1ASolar.com.
This message is sponsored by the Florida A&M University Medical Marijuana Education and Research Initiative, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
Now that medical marijuana is being used in Florida, you need information. Just log on to the Mary YouTube videocast to learn about medical marijuana use in Florida. We talk to doctors, nurses, pastors, pharmacists, legislators, and law enforcement officials to bring you the most up-to-date information about medical marijuana use in Florida. Subscribe and never miss an update.
Hi, I'm here reporting from one of the vaccine locations, and we're asking people today why they decided to get vaccinated. Ma'am, why are you getting the vaccine?
I'm getting the vaccine so that I can travel and be safe.
The COVID vaccine is a safe and proven way to get our lives back to normal. This is why the Florida Division of Emergency Management partnered with local community leaders to create Vax904.com. Visit Vax904.com or call 357-0892 to get more information.
If you, someone you love, your clients, or your customers are golfers, then you must get the Dream 18 golf card. It's the best golf card in Jacksonville. Play at 8 premier courses in Jacksonville, plus get a free smoothie from Smoothie King, a free hat from Dome Hats. It's only $95, but quantities are limited. So get a discount card that will save you money on your golf now and allow you to play more golf in 2021. Go to ActionSportsJacksDream18.com now and get your cards while they last. The Dream 18 golf card, available only at ActionSportsJacksDream18.com.
Slip and falls can be embarrassing, leaving you in pain and feeling like you've lost control. I'm Eli Anajar from the law offices of Anajar and Levine. After a fall, document the scene by taking photographs and make sure to get medical attention for any injuries you may have. If you've been injured in a slip and fall accident, call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000 for a free consultation and take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
How do you measure the depth of your sadness? What number of arguments is too many? How do you count your sleepless nights? Don't. Count on DuPont Counseling Group at Jewish Family and Community Services instead. Our professional counselors can assist with everything from depression to relationships to children's issues. Trust DuPont Counseling Group to help you navigate life's challenges better. Jewish Family and Community Services. Here for mental health. Here for Jax. Learn more at hereforjax.com.
Ever finally get around to trying something and it's so much better than you expected, where you're mentally kicking yourself for not doing it sooner or wondering where it's been your whole life? That's how Griffin customers feel about their Florida-rated AC. They even tell me,
we're never going back to regular AC.
And it's the same for our Florida-rated water heaters, too. It's so much better, our customers wonder why no one told them about it before. Well, we fix what others can't. Tired of having to run a shower or faucet for 3 minutes before you actually get hot water? We can fix that.
Nice.
Tired of Jacksonville's swampy hard water hurting your appliances and hair?
Uh-huh.
We can fix it.
Naturally.
Tired of a tank water heater going bad every 5 to 8 years or running out of hot water?
Yep.
Griffin can fix that big time.
Oh, yeah. I never knew I could have hot water as soon as I turn on the tap.
And my hair could be so much healthier.
And my appliances can last longer.
Well, you can, but only if you call
GriffinService.com.
1430-261-1250-697.
Hey everybody, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks. There's a good chance you have a smart speaker, so use it with the ESPN 690. Stay up to date on the Jags and all things sports by telling Alexa or Google to play ESPN 690. It's as easy as that. Make sure you listen weekdays 3 until 6 p.m. on ESPN 690.
Well, I've known both these guys for a long time, and maybe not personally, but as someone involved in college football and recruiting, and I admired his play. Tebow and I go way, way back. So, we've had some very good conversations about both Trevor and Travis, but it was really nothing I wasn't aware of, because I saw firsthand. I saw the violence that he plays with, that the speed, and this is speed wins. We were a team that really struggled with big play hits last year, and especially in the NFL, but the opportunity to sustain 10, 12, 13 play drives, the percentage say that doesn't happen. So you need some hits, and we didn't have it. And Travis has got that gift. He's got the gift of that guy touches the ball, there's a chance it's going.
Man. That is Urban Meyer. Speaking highly of Travis Etienne. By the way, continues to say last night, if you saw the news conference, James Robinson, Carlos Hyde, and then Etienne.
Yeah.
Now, a little bit of that probably, earned some time. I don't know. I'm not – listen, we got a different Carlos Hyde, and I'm not talking about the sleepy one on the Jaguars All Access.
I knew that was coming. I was waiting for it, and there it was.
We did, though. But we got a different Carlos Hyde. Like, Carlos Hyde has done nothing to say for Jaguars fans, oh, yeah, that's all. He just didn't endear himself to the fan base here with some of the actions during that year. I'm not even I kid about the access stuff. But my point being, is Hyde going to be that big of a part of their backfield? I don't know. I don't envision that. I mean, I think this is 90% Robinson and Etienne and maybe 10% the others.
Yeah, I mean, like you're saying, you got to earn your stripes. You got to earn your spot. And, Urban Meyer, obviously, I mean, he knows Carlos Hyde pretty well, come from Ohio State. I think it was a little formality how much we see of Carlos Hyde going forward. We'll see. Keep in mind, though, he did have an okay time in Houston when he was there, a lot better than his time in Jacksonville, so time will tell.
We just got some breaking news that I didn't know about, but Kuz, Austin has an office. Now at the workplace.
Yeah. Sorry to break it to you. And by the way, I should preface it by saying an office to myself.
We should also point out it's bigger than my office.
Oh, so now are you bitter too?
No, not bitter. It's just bigger.
Kuz has an office.
No, Kuz upset. I can tell by his voice. Kuz is so ticked off right now, and he's going to HR about it.
Kuz, since I've met you, didn't you have you moved offices, or do you always have that office?
No, same office. Honestly, I'm in there for maybe an hour out of the day anyway. So
yeah,
Kuz is so upset right now. And you know what I'm gonna do? Now I'm gonna put 2 beanbag chairs and a PlayStation 5, and that's all I'm gonna do in there, just to spite you. Teach you a lesson.
You think he's upset? I mean, how many dollars are you bringing in lately to ESPN 690?
Hey, I was asked, do I need an office to help perform my work better? And what did I say? Absolutely, I do. Yes.
Meanwhile, they said, "Hey,
yes, I do."
Hey,
yes.
Brent, keep taking the mile trek down to TV. Your office is down there with 4 other people.
Well, hey, Brent, you know what, man? I mean, Kuz isn't lying. It's a nice, big, luxurious space.
Listen,
to be fair, Brent, you're not in the building that often because you like to take the show on the road.
Yeah, good point.
I'm just saying it's a nice, luxurious space. Brent,
question.
If you want to pay some rent for me sometime, more power to you. Come in and join me, man.
Do you guys want to do the show Monday live from Austin's office next to the stage?
It's big enough.
That's a good idea.
It's big enough. So I've already checked the sound quality in there. Sound quality sounds great.
The office segment of the show, at least. We'll at least do a segment over there. Yep. Maybe then they'll let me in. There's more office space on that side of the building. We've talked about that before.
Without a doubt.
I mean, you could at least ask me if I want one.
Well, speaking of other things that Brent doesn't like, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention Dilla a little bit here in terms of the smoke screen.
Yeah.
Right? Because
it's a Dilla smoke screen.
The question remains, the cornerback position, is that really going to be the plan for the Jacksonville Jaguars? Keep in mind who sits right behind them, the New York Jets, who are in dire need of a cornerback. Is this all a smokescreen? Is Dilla a sleeper agent? Have they got to him in the organization, and this is all a ploy to try to make New York trade up one spot to get that cornerback?
Yeah, I suggested that, and I think that could be the case. That would be awesome. They couldn't get him to Cleveland to announce the pick, as I suggested a couple of weeks ago on Twitter, after everything that he did and helped to get all the dollars for Trevor Lawrence and back to charity.
Yeah.
So instead they said, we'll use the Dilla smoke screen.
The Dilla smoke screen.
What kind of scoop of ice cream is that?
I mean, the sweetest kind, if you ask me. If you can parlay this, if you can parlay this, and New York trades with Jacksonville, or somebody trades with Jacksonville, Brent, I don't know, man. Key to the city? Key to the city?
No.
Okay. Okay. Whoa.
Would you rather
wow.
What would you rather have, key to the city or to be thrown
Or
out
an
there
office?
as a smoke screen?
Probably a smoke screen, and I'll say this: if he can pull it off,
He's the decoy
he
in
might,
the passing route.
Okay, that's a little harsh, right? Because no one wants to be the decoy in the passing. Brent, no, now you're talking bad about him.
I'm
I
not
can't
talking
allow
about
that.
it. That's essentially. Listen,
Hey.
if you're the one throwing out the smoke screen, then you're the
Hey,
decoy.
I'm just saying, seeing how Dilla does about as much work as I do for this show as he does just in social media, I would say if this actually pans out to fruition and it comes true, Brent, no offense to you, but Dilla's got the office spot with me. Because once again, I
For a
can't say this
segment?
enough. There's plenty of room in there for two people. So much room. So many activities.
Did you see Trevor Lawrence broke a record on jersey sales for a first night of a draft pick? How about that?
I mean,
in Jacksonville, amazing.
Well, I mean, what more is there to say? I put out memes. I put out videos, Brent. The prosecution rests, okay? The guy's going to do just fine cashing those checks.
And lastly, what do we got? 33 and 45.
I got to go with my gut, man. I got to go with what I want to see and speak into existence. Give me Merrick. Go ahead and give me Pat Frymuth with the second pick in the second round. And then to close it off, man, let's get sexy. Let's get exciting. Let's get Rondale Moore out of Purdue.
Wow, back at 65.
Let's get it. If he falls that deep, why not?
When will the first Ohio State or Gator go off the board? And maybe that's the one that broke his heart.
Yeah,
you know, who
maybe
knows?
it is.
I'm going to stick with Barmore here.
Okay.
Unlikely, although I know there are a lot of rumors all over the place.
That's plus 1,500 in Vegas right now.
Is it?
That's
The
plus
defensive
1,500.
line is.
Defensive lineman plus 1,500.
I'm with you on Fryermuth. I think they got to go tight end. I think that need plays up. And then, shoot, man, just throw me. Is it too early to take Jonathan Cooper or something out of
Sure.
Ohio State or Forsyth or
Yeah.
give me a Gator or a Buckeye somewhere in the third round? I'll be interested to see what they're going to do. A lot of momentum that Barmore, by the way, is just going to keep sliding. For a variety of reasons. Corner, safety, somewhere else. Any more surprises? We're about to find out. You can listen to rounds 2 and 3 right here on ESPN 690. We're going on TV all night long as well. CBS 47 and Fox 30. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the draft.
It's been a great week, man. Yeah, it's a blast.
We'll do it again on Monday. Have a good weekend, everybody. Thanks for listening on ESPN 690.
Oh, boy, you have that look on your face. That grumbling Greg face. Boss asking you to do work? No, I don't think it's unreasonable to ask somebody to work at work. That's why we switched to Peak Push to Talk. Yeah, Push to Talk is back. Connect instantly to anybody, anywhere in the country.